Hello everyone, how are you all? कैसे हैं आप सभी लोग? I hope you all must be having a great time. And now we are moving ahead in our history optional to lecture number 10. And this you can say the continuation of the age of Mahajanpat. In the last lecture, we have seen about the political and economic developments. In this particular lecture, we are going to see the socio-religious developments, right? So this is more about spread of Buddhism and Jainism. Now you try to understand in this time frame of 6th century BC, 5th century BC, there were not only these two ideas were flourishing, but more than 62 ideas, different sects, different ways of lives were flourishing, out of which only two became prominent, only two flourished, guys. That's why this is the most important topic you will be finding. It is written like this in your syllabus line: spread of Jainism and Buddhism. The rest of the things, rise of Magad, Nanda, and these innovations, and this particular part we have already seen in the last lecture, combined with our live class, which will be happening in the Saturdays or Sundays, right? So today we are going to understand about the Buddhism and Jainism. Now you try to understand, first of all, just wait, just wait. देखो, this topic, Buddhism and Jainism, holds three importance for us, that is in prelims, that is in means, and that is in optional. Okay, try to understand this. Try to understand this clearly, right? For the optional category, this topic is not that much complex. This topic is simple. Alright, it is simple over here. Not complex question get asked from here, from the optional point of view. From the prelims point of view, this topic is very much complex. This topic is very much vast, and you will be finding every year this is a hot topic as well, right? For prelims. Aap samjho, this you have to understand. Alright. That means for prelims, we will be opening different aspect of Buddhism and Jainism from different ages as well, not only the age of Mahajanpat. Whereas in optional category, you have to see it from the timeline sense. For example, if this is age of Mahajanpat going on, so we will not be including right now the Mahayana doctrines. We will not be including over here the Vajrayana doctrines, right? That will be coming at the specific context, right? So what I will be doing with this optional particular part is we will try to analyze the questions, and you will find that very easy question are repetitive over here from Buddhism and Jainism. No complex question. But with respect to prelims, I will be dealing it with the prelims boot camp. That is history prelims boot camp. You all people will be getting, and over there I will be elaborating this, like combining Buddhism and Jainism from here till Vajrayana, till the recent Nichiren Buddhism as well. I will be including some of the insights of there as well, guys. Right? So that will be more vast and more complex, where we have to understand a lot of things. But in this optional part, we will be seeing specific to the context, guys, right? And then as we will be going into the Kanishka's period, we will be opening up the Mahayana. We'll be going to the Pala period, we'll be opening up the Vajrayana period. Like that, we are going to understand Buddhism and Jainism from the optional point of view. Mains, you will be able to handle if you have seen my prelims and optional classes, very easy to understand, right? The recent questions, how they are asking from Jainism and Buddhism, what you will be finding, they primarily will be focusing upon the factors that led to the rise of Buddhism and Jainism. This is their favorite question, nothing else over here, right? Let me show you. Dekho, the ideological challenge posed by Jainism and Buddhism were deeply rooted in socio-economic transformation brought about by the expansion of agrarian settlements in eastern India. That means they are saying that one of the cause of rise of Jainism and Buddhism was socio-economic transformation which was happening. Okay. Symbiotic relationship between Buddhist establishment, traders and royal support to a close proximity of religion, economy and polity. This is they are asking over here. Then some of the ideas of Buddhism may have had their origin in a Vedic Upanishad tradition. That means Buddhism might have arisen from this Vedic Upanishadic traditions. Then you will be finding one more question over here, that concept of Shranamic religions with particular reference to Buddhism had their roots in Upanishads. That means some of the ideas that Buddhism was talking about were having their roots in Upanishadic thought. Pause the video, try to understand. Buddhism and Jainism were social movement under the umbrella of religion. That means a very simple question, and all these simple questions are pointing towards only one thing, that what were the factors that led to the rise of this particular different sects over here, guys. That is Buddhism and Jainism. What led to the rise of this particular part? What were the factors basically? Now you try to understand, first of all, not from the topic sense, but from the conceptual sense. That over here, people were coming not only with these two ideas of Buddhism and Jainism, these later on became religion, but these were ideas. But people were coming up with different ideas, as many as I have told you that 62 different sects were existing at that point of time, guys. Now the question comes, how and why at this point of time only these different ideas were flourishing in the society? Why not earlier? Why not later? But why at this point of time you will be finding that people are engaging in different ways of life, where a bit earlier, few centuries away, you were seeing a dominant lifestyle of the Rig Vedic period or the Vedic period, or you can say the Vedic period to be exact. Right. So what led to this particular thing and what led to the rise of Buddhism and Jainism ultimately, that you should understand, and yeah, that you should think about as well. What led to this? Right. This question should come to your mind. Right. Now we will try to fill up different concepts, different headings over here, so that you can understand that what could be the factor. There is no one single factor which will be leading to the rise of these different ideas and ultimately to Buddhism and Jainism. No single factor, but there will be different factors. Now what UPSC does, they pick one factor and they ask you to elaborate upon that. This is their feature, guys. They will not be asking a common question. If they will be asking a common question, you can write a common question, right? But they will be picking up a specific point. For example, one of the factor was Upanishadic thought. So they will be picking this Upanishadic thought. One of the factor was socio-economic transformation. They will be picking this socio-economic transformation. I hope you are understanding this, right? Alright, guys. So understand the factors over here, first of all. Factors that led to different ideas. Okay, factors that led to different alternative way of lives. First of all, focused upon the economic life. Economic aspect, try to focus upon, and the economic factor also you will be understanding from here. Economic factor. All right. Economically, what was happening in the 6th century BC of India, guys? How the transition was taking place? Economically, can you say that, okay, from later Vedic, from early Vedic to later Vedic, agriculture was becoming prominent? Becoming prominent because of the use of iron implements. So agriculture productivity was huge. Rather than pastoralism, we were becoming agriculture based society, not pastoralistic society, because otherwise in a early Vedic period you have seen pastoralism as the main occupation, right? Now you understand, because of this economic factor, how it happened. Because of this, now agriculture surplus was generated over here. Agriculture surplus. Now two things happens when surplus is generated, guys. If this land can produce more, that means if earlier 5 people were over here and 5 people were doing grazing, cattle grazing, so all the 5 people were engaging over here, right? But now that you have shifted to agriculture, now 2 people can do the same job of agriculture productivity. 3 people are free. So what these 3 people will do, these 3 people are free over here, guys, and these 2 people can provide the surplus for these 3 people as well. I'm just giving you an example. So these 3 people will move to other professions, and at that point of time when they will move out, the other profession that was provided was, other profession they could find was different artisans job or some other jobs related to this particular only, this agriculture allied fields only, right? But these 3 people are free. You try to understand. So this is agriculture surplus is providing other occupation to flourish, that people can think about other things now. Alright, so agriculture surplus opened the way for non-agriculture, non-agri professions. You will be finding that they will be supporting it, right? So I told you earlier in the IVC time period as well, right, that different theories I was telling you about, okay, or that McAdams theory and Gordon Spielberg theory, like this I was telling you different theories, right? Then this agriculture surplus will be leading to the second urbanization, which will be happening in the age of Mahajanpad, second urbanization, right? So there will be coming up of cities, there will be coming up of other professions like merchants, new social classes, that we'll be talking about in the social aspect. But the economic aspect is changing rapidly in the Mahajanpadas age. So if I tell you about this economic factor over here, you will be finding expansion of agriculture, iron technology. देखो, everything is written now. You just have to convert it into one pager. ठीक है, on that too PYQ wise. Expansion of agriculture, iron technology enabled large scale forest clearance. Because of that, permanent agriculture can be taken as a permanent profession, and it was replaced predominantly this pastoral livelihoods. Then agriculture surplus supported urban centers and non-agriculture occupation. Over here, R.S. Sharma, you will be finding, said that iron technology and agrarian expansion formed the material basis for the rise of heterodox religion. Heterodox meaning क्या होता है? Heterodox means which do not believe in the Vedic studies. ठीक है, they do not believe in the Vedas over here, right? They do not follow the Vedas basically. ठीक है, this is heterodox, right? So you will be finding that because of this, second urbanization happened, like Rajgriha, Vaishali, Kaushambi, all these cities flourished. And urban life encouraged intellectual debates. That also I will be telling you how it happens basically. ठीक है, इसका example मैं आपको देता हूँ. ठीक है, अब थोड़ा सा conceptual है ये. Suppose we are living in a society, and early Vedic society, you understand, where we have a small tribe, we have a small clan, like this, and our sole purpose is to survive, and we can survive by doing resource accumulation, right? Survive, that means we have to live and we have to do the resource accumulation. Now, in order to survive, what will be happening? You have to live by the community rules, right? You have to live by the community rules because you have to survive, and you have to survive in a tribe because other tribe will displace you otherwise. Early Vedic age, you know, many tribes were there. Battle of 10 Rajanbas you have seen in Rig Veda. So resource accumulation means cattle accumulation, and then you will be going forward with Gomat, Gavishthi. Okay, all these terms I have already told you. I hope you are able to understand. That is fight for the kettles. Now, in this type of society, when the society was primitive, when the society was not like you will be finding every day you have to fight for your survival, you have to live by the community rules. And when you are living by the community rules, you have to basically follow the major rules of the society, which was formed by a section of people. That means the Brahmins at this time was dictating everything over here. And why they were able to dictate? Because they know in and out that what profession was happening over here. Cattle rearing was the profession. Okay? Over here, cattle rearing and primitive agriculture was the profession. Okay? So they know that they are dependent upon this social bond, right? You can compare it with the present day society as well later on. Okay? When in society you will be understanding. Later on, what happened that the society is economically changing, I have told you, because the geography is changing, economy is changing. Now they are producing surplus agriculture over here. That means surplus agriculture is being produced. That means now large territorial states are being formed with the help of this particular surplus, because surplus can be generated. That means more army can be installed over here, more army you can sustain, and then more expansion you can do. So from Jana, I have told you Janapada are getting important. Janapadas are getting important, guys, right? Now, when different Janapadas are coming up, that means urbanization is happening on the basis of the subsistence provided by agriculture. Agriculture ne hi subsistence provide kiya, like in IBC I have told you. Now what will be happening when these people will be moving out to towns? Now towns is having the merchant class, the nobility class, who will be still following the Vedic religion, who will be still focusing upon the elite religion, right? But merchants over here will be here, new class, new you will be finding that new social classes will be emerging. Okay? For example, new professions will be coming over here, which people will be indulging in the cities, in the urban cities. Traders will be coming over here, right? And they will become wealthy. When they are becoming wealthy and they are finding that in the social sphere they don't have any prestige, because the prestige is given by birth. So they will ask why it is happening, like this, right? Traders will be asking the questions as well. Nobility will be having different questions as well. So the traditional setup, traditional society setup will not be able to answer this new setup over here. And that's why the primary reason they will be finding new ideas, and that's why the people over here who will be having time to think will be giving different ideas, and these people will be following it, and you will be finding out of all Buddhism and Jainism ideas spread like fire at this point of time. Are you understanding? I've just given you a small thing over here, right? Small discussion I have given you about how this can change. So economically we are changing. First of all, you try to understand that, right? Now I told you whenever we are economically changing, we will be changing politically as well. Everything will be changing over here politically as well, right? Economically changing, politically changing, then we will be seeing we will be changing socially as well. So this political factors will be there, social factors will be there, and then comes the intellectual factors as well, which will be giving rise to different ideas. So political factors, what you will be finding that there will be large territorial states which require ethical integration. Now large territorial states which are occupying the forest people as well, the tribal people as well, the indigenous people as well, they cannot accumulate the whole society under one tradition only, right? So they need ethical integration, social stability, and universal values. So this Shramana religions emphasize morality, discipline, and peaceful coexistence as well. Weak Brahminical influences came over here, like Magad and neighboring regions lay outside the traditional Vedic heartland, had numerous republican states as well, which was not focusing upon the Vedic culture. Vedic culture was flourishing in the Gangetic regions. But I have told you the Gana Sanghs were not appreciating Brahmans much. They were appreciating Kshatriya class more. Right? So they never focused upon more rituals over here. So parallelly, you will be finding there was Brahmanical reaction. There were the reaction of these class against the Brahmanical practice. So Brahmanical hegemony was going on. More ritualistic society was going on. More you will be finding sacrifices has to happen over here. So these particular condition encourage heterodox ideas to survive. Okay. Then they will be finding royal patronage was also given by Bimbisar and Ajatashatru and Ashoka, who was not focusing upon the Vedic religion but was focusing upon the different heterodox religions, guys. And the king who is supported by the king, that religion flourish. You try to understand. If Prime Minister Modi is supporting me, I will become famous at any point of time. If he says that, okay, he is trying to learn something from me, I will become famous at any point of time. Doesn't matter how I am teaching you, right? Doesn't matter what really I am teaching you, right? Because you will think that this famous personality is seeing me, then there might be some value. So this happened with Buddhism and Jainism as well. You try to understand. The great people of that time followed that particular religion, guys, right? So this is patronage helped institutionalize these religions as well. Now let me show you the social factors which led over here. Opposition to caste hierarchy. The later Vedic society became increasingly stratified. Like for example, merchants, artisans, lower varnas were dissatisfied with the birth-based inequality. Merchants were high, they were having money, and you will be finding these money, they were more prosperous than other people, but in the society their prestige was not there. So what merchants used to do? All over the world, guys, they used to give money to the art and culture. They used to give money to the music people, artistic people, you will find over here, so that they can get social acceptance as well. Their social prestige should increase in the society, right? So opposition to caste hierarchy by these later groups you will be finding over here. Okay, where Buddhism and Jainism emphasized conduct over birth and karma over lineage. Reaction against Brahmanical dominance. Religious authority was monopolized by Brahmins, and these new religions were rejecting it, and people were finding peace over here, right? Individualism also you will be finding. Early Vedic society was kinship based, collective rituals, tribal identity. Later in the cities, not in the villages, later in the village, still in villages we think from the community aspect, but in the cities we don't think about from the community aspect, we think from the individualistic perspective, guys. All right, occupational specialization, private property concept will be there. So religion also became more individualistic. Salvation dependent upon personal conduct, karma, and self discipline over here, right? So this you will be finding your social factor as well. Next you will be seeing the religious factor, and in the religious factor you will be finding dissatisfaction with the rituals. Vedic sacrifices became expensive, elaborate, inaccessible. Only few people can do it, right? What other people will be doing, how they will be fitting in the society, what Shudras will be doing, right? Animal sacrifice was there. So agriculture required cattle, oxen, draught animals, and large sacrifices conflicted with agrarian interest. Like it is said that Raj, Suya, Vajpayee, and Ashwamedha Yagya involved a lot of money and a lot of animal sacrifices, guys. Then there was spiritual crisis as well. People increasingly questioned efficacy of rituals, meaning of life, suffering, and rebirth. This created demand for practical ethical philosophies, right? As it is, you try to read down these lines, guys, right? These lines are highly academic, and you can take it as it is rather than finding content on your own and wasting your time, right? Okay, so these were your religious factors as well over here, and then comes the intellectual factors as well. Just wait, these were your religious factors, and then comes the intellectual factors as well, where you will be finding that different numerous schools like Buddhist, Jainas, Ajivikas, Charvakas, materialistics, all these flourished over here. Now let me tell you, these Ajivikas, Charvakas, materialist work has not survived, right? We have not known about them from their original work. We have known from the works of Buddhas and Jainas only, when they were ridiculing these other religions. Then we have got to know, oh, these many religions were flourishing at that point of time. I'll tell you how they have mentioned it in their sources, right? That's why historians take it critically, because Buddhist and Jaina sources will always be ridiculing other sects over here, right? But we will take not as it is, but we will be critical about what they are writing about other sects over there. Okay, so this atmosphere was encouraging debate, inquiry, and free thinking, and this is very important, guys, right? Very important. Now, influence of the Upanishad, ideas already circulating like karma, samsara, moksha, meditation, and renunciation. So this I will be telling you separately, because Upanishads have already touched upon these ideas. How Upanishads and Buddhism and Jainism were talking about the same thing. Also, what are the new ideas which altogether Buddhism was saying? ठीक है, दो चीजें, is there will be some overlapping, as well as there will be some new ideas which will be happening, right? Like you will be finding different historiographical perspective. Johannes Born-Crossed, many Buddhist ideas originated in the non-Vedic intellectual tradition of Greater Magadh, indicating influences beyond the Vedic world. Right, so now you can read this out over here. Perfect conclusion for the factors of rise. Factors over here you will be finding that what led to the rise of Buddhism and Jainism. Just read it out, pause the video and read it out. Convert it into a few small keywords format so that you will be remembering ultimately for your examination, right? Pause the video, go through these factors, guys. Okay? And then there is an institutional factor also, that these people, basically these sects like Buddhism and Jainism, organize themselves into organizations, sangha. They will be creating their manuals, right? So they will be copying the exact societal model in their society as well. देखो what happens if I will be saying you that you become ascetic and you go to forest, you will not be able to survive, you will not be able to influence people, right? Because people will be living individually and they cannot survive much, right? That's why this tradition was not influencing a lot of people until a person is really motivated to find truth on his own. But whereas Buddhist and these Jainism people introduce the concept of Sangha, where many people can live together. So always, even if somebody is not interested, he will go over there and a new society will be formed over here to sustain life, guys. Let me tell you, not everyone over here in the Buddhist Sangha will be eligible to become a Buddha. No, a lot of people will be like living their life inside the Sangha. Right, they will not be understanding anything. They were just following the herd at that point of time. Let me tell you. Okay, I'll be telling you about the certain sanghs, what was happening in sangha as well. You try to understand. So a community is being formed. You have removed from this Brahmanical community and now you have entered into a sangha community or a Buddhist or Jainism community. Trying to understand. So this is providing you the support. Obviously, more people will get attracted toward this type of societal setup, guys. Right. Whereas if I say that Buddhist people are saying that individually you have to live and you take care about yourself, then you will not be able to survive, and a lot of people will not be interested in going there because they don't have any idea that how they will be getting this, right? Try to understand, right? So this is a particular factor you will be finding, that institutional factors also boosted these monastic orders. Right, so you can say the 6th century BC was not only an age of urbanization, state formation, and economic prosperity, but also witnessed the emergence of powerful renunciatory tradition who will not be following the traditional outlook of Vedic culture. While society became increasingly hierarchical through Varna, caste, wealth, and political power, many thinkers rejected worldly life, and sought spiritual liberation through renunciation, meditation, and asceticism. In this, you will be finding several school came. Who were the renunciants? Renunciants were the people who left their household life, abandoned property and family ties, and wandered in the search of truth. This is the first example, guys. This life has always shown you different paths. Some people will be doing treacherous activity, they will be doing corrupt activities in order to get power, position, family wealth, family inheritance, and they will be fighting with the family members, killing the family members even. Then the society is showing you since ages, showing you that there will always be some people who will be rejecting this wealth altogether, which you will die for. Buddha, Mahavir, all these people over here which you are going to see, one of few names you will be finding, Charvaka, like all these people will be rejecting these magnificent magnificent palaces of theirs, and will be going to the forest, will be going to the hard path over here, which people think it is hard. Right, so people at that point of time also were realizing other peoples that there are alternative way of life which you can follow. These are not the things worth making yourself impure, right, with these activities, right. So this you will be finding that these people will not be liking it, and they will be finding the truth over here. They will understand that family ties are also built upon interests, right. So they will be leaving, and this is a hard path, nobody can follow this very easily, right. So Parivarjaka is the name given to them. Parivarjaka, this is a UPSC prelims PYQ. Parivarjaka, wanderer. Shramana tradition भी बोला जाता है. Samana is one who strives for truth through effort. ठीक है, Shraman. So this is a Shraman tradition which you will be finding these all heterodox religions coming in. Then there will be Bhikkhus, one who survives by begging alms. ठीक है, Bhikkhus. So what are their characteristics? Give up family life, social obligation, living by collecting alms, traveled from place to place, practiced these particular things, rejected material attachments, and depended upon donation from householders. Thus, while rejecting society, they remained economically supported by it as well. Right? Really sorry guys, the light got dim, right? And I was not knowing that the image might be blurry. Right now it might be good. Okay? So I was telling you about this particular part over here. Okay? Now, was a renunciatory tradition was new over here that these people were showing us? No, renunciatory tradition is very old. Right? Is very old during the Vedic age as well, you will be finding. Although the Shramana movement became prominent during this, but the ideas of asceticism were existing in Vedic tradition like Vanaprast, Tapasi, Yogi, Vairagi, Muni, Sannyasi. This suggests renunciation had older roots, though it not become an independent religious movement over here, right? This you will be finding. So what is the difference between the Brahmanical renunciation and Shraman renunciation? You will be finding Brahmanical tradition, renunciation used to be a stage of life where everyone has to basically renunciate in the end, in their, like you will be finding the 4 ashrams. Now there is a debate which are also written in your standard books, which is not needed. 4 ashrams you will be finding in the debates in these 4 ashrams also been shown in the standard book, which is not needed, guys. So this is Brahmacharya, this is you will be finding Grihast, then Vanaprast, then Sannyasi. These are the 4 stages of life. Now the argument is that people were having the choice to live their life out of all these 4. But later on, this became a chronological sequence of how you will be living the life. So the last stage was sannyas in life, right? Last stage of life, mainly for Dvija. Dvija, I have already told you. Individual renunciation, one among 4 duties of life, and sequential. Buddhist and Jaina tradition saying that begin it early as you can. If you have got this particular tendencies very early in your life, you choose this path. That means you have been chosen by the God to come closer to truth, right? So open to all, irrespective of caste, class or gender. It was not like only limited to some people. Entry into organized monastic community considered the only effective path to liberation, and immediate and voluntary. Right? So for Buddhists and Jainas, renunciation was not postponed until old age. It was viewed as urgent because worldly attachment delayed liberation. It was even open to women and lower social groups as well. Now understand your what I will be telling you about, that how many other schools were also flourishing parallelly, and how do we get to know about this, right? So later on I will be telling you about the Buddhist literature. Okay, just wait. So Buddhist literature I will be telling you about like Tripitaka, not right now, but later on in the literature part of Buddhism. अभी तो हमने शुरू किया है. Just now we have started. I have not given you the framework as well, right? So in this Tripitaka, in this Sutta Pitaka, you have got the Digha Nikaya. Just understand right now. The Mahajanpad's time period evidences we were getting from Anguttar Nikaya, it is a part of Sutta Pitaka only. Okay? Right now I am giving you one more compilation which is a Sutta Pitaka under this Digha Nikaya, and under this there is one book which is particularly known as Samana Phala. Samana Phala. Samana Phala. Right? So what is this Samana Phala, guys? Samana means Shraman. Shraman. Phala means uska phal. Shraman phal. Just wait, what is happening with this? Samana phal. Right? Right. This you can also say that it is a sutta. Sutta. Just wait. Right? Samana phala sutta. It means discourse on the fruits. Phal means fruits of ascetic life. Ascetic life. Ascetic means Shramana. Shramana. And in Pali, Samana. Alright. So, over here, one time there is a story which is recorded in Samana Phala Sutta, which is a part of Sutta Pitaka. Which is a part of Sutta Pitaka. And there is a story which is highlighting. Now, it is, we have got it in this Pitaka, guys, in the literature of Buddhism. Where in this discourse, Ajatashatru is asking his ministers that what is the direct fruits of following this thing that we are renunciating the life. For example, if a farmer is growing the crops, if he is working hard, the crops are the fruits of it. For example, if a merchant is doing something trade, the money is the fruit out of it. If an artisan is creating something, that creation is the fruit out of it. How these ascetic people are contributing anything? Ajatashatru, genuine question asked to his ministers. And this is recorded, this story, how I am telling you, this story is recorded in Samana Phala Sutta, guys, right? Samana Phala Sutta. So he will be asking his ministers over here, right? And his ministers will be saying different names that you should be asking these questions to the famous ascetics of that time. Now the famous ascetics are being recorded in this Samana Phala Sutta. Let me show you. Like you will be finding this Purana Kasap. Doctrine of Akriyavad, Ajita Kesam Kambli over here, Materialism, Niyativad, right? Pakuda Kayakana, Eternalism, Sanjay Belathiputta, Agnosticism. That means, first of all, you understand before going into them that this particular part we have got from the Buddhist literature Samana Phala Sutta, which is a part of Sutta Pitaka, of the three Pitakas of Buddhist literature. First of all, you understand this, and later on I will be telling you as well how this Buddhist literature formed, right? Under this is a story which has been highlighted in this, and where now this Ajatashatru, the king, will be getting the answers from Purana Kasyap, Ajita, Sanjay and Pakuda over here, right? But he will not be satisfied. Ultimately, he will be going to Buddha and he will be asking this question to Buddha. What he will be asking? That, sir, I am not able to get the answers. I have asked from different teachers over here. Now, Buddha was spawned. Buddha said, what have you known from other teacher? First of all, tell me that. What do you have understood from them? Right? And then Buddha will be giving his answer. What was the answer? Again, answers were metaphysical in nature. In one go, you will not be able to understand. I will not be able to understand, because we have to go deep down into the concepts of it, which is not required for right now, which is not required for your examination. Try to understand, but I'll be telling you this. See this Samana Phala Sutta, a window into the intellectual world of 6th century BC, right? What you will be finding over here, that just go over here. The Samana Phala Sutta is a discourse of the fruits of ascetic life. I hope you have understood. It is in the Digha Nikaya, is one of the most important Buddhist text over here, right? Now over here it is provided that Anna Tithya means follower of other sects, to describe non-Buddhist tradition. The word Tithya derives from Tirthankar, right? The setting of Samana Phala Sutta you will be finding. The narrative begins with Ajatashatru sitting on the terrace of his palace and ask an important question. Which teacher can truly explain the benefits of the life of Shramana? Now over here his people recommended him 6 famous contemporary teachers. Purana Kasapa, I have told you, given Akriyavad. What is Akriyavad over here? I have explained over here. Main idea is rejected moral distinction. They say that if you will do wrong, there will be no karma related to that. If you will be doing right, there will be no karma associated with that. So rejected moral distinction, denied that actions have consequences, right? And God deeds produce no good deeds produce no merit, evil deeds produce no sin. Rejected the doctrine of karma altogether. Now you try to understand, it is not about what is right, what is wrong. It is about the different ideas were being propagated in the society at that point of time, and it is a good thing. It is a good thing that you can think differently and not in on the same line, right? This you will be finding. So rejected the doctrine of karma. Okay, over here, thunderstorm is coming, guys, but it's all right. We will be saying it. Right. So over here, this they rejected it. So that's why these Buddhism, ascetic people, Vedic people will be finding very like they will be very anti to these people because they are like distorting the moral compass of the society. Moral compass of the society is maintained by not by only laws, but by these religious affiliations as well. That if you will do bad, bad will happen to you. But if this type of thinking will be flourishing, then everybody will be involving in the bad deeds, right? But again, we don't know what exactly Purana Kassapa want to say. Ultimately, his intention will not be to create chaos in the society. He might be giving you some other alternative reasons as well, but we don't have to go into that much detail right now, right? Because we indirectly know about them. Eternalism, Pakuda Kayakana Kakayana, pronunciate the way you want, guys, I might be pronunciating it wrong, says that the reality consists of 7 internal and unchanging elements like this, and these elements never interact. Human action changes nothing. Even killing is ultimately unreal because no element is destroyed. This represents an extreme form of metaphysical determinism, right? Then Ajita Kesakambali over here got quite famous because of this materialistic thought, which led to ultimately Lokayat and Charvak philosophy, materialist traditions. That human being consists only of material elements, and after death, body returns to earth. No soul, no rebirth, no heaven, no merit or demerit over here. You are here to basically utilize what is being presented to you, right? Complete different outlook. Then there is Sanjay, you will be finding agnosticism. Known for refusing to give definite answers, his response typically took the form of I do not say it exists, I do not say it does not exist, I do not say both, I do not say neither. It is nothing but agnosticism, right? So it represents one of the earliest tradition of philosophical skepticism and agnosticism in India. Generally, you must have heard about these schools in the West or in the Chinese school, guys, right? Chinese school of thought, but this was existing in India as well, right? So this I was telling you about, and Ajat Shatru got to know about these many teachers which are written in this Samanaphala Sutta of the Nikaya of Sutta Pitaka. I hope you are understanding. Right. These teachers are described as Chirapabajita, long established renunciator, Tithakaro, founders of religious sects, Ganacharya, leaders of organized ascetic communities. These indicates that the Shraman movement had already become institutionally well developed over here, right? Then you will be finding Ajat Shatru will be meeting the Buddha. Earlier also I have told you. And at this time he will be meeting, suggested by Jivak, who was the court physician of Bimbisar, also present in his court, as per this story. And Jivak will be suggesting that why don't you go to Gautam Buddha? He is residing at my mango grove. So Ajat Shatru accepted this particular suggestion and asked over here, what are the tangible benefits of becoming a renunciate? He observed that ordinary profession clearly produce visible rewards. Agriculture yield crops, trade produces wealth, administration brings authority. But what practical benefit does renunciation provide? Now Buddha response was, instead of immediately answering, Buddha first asked Ajat Shatru to recount the replies given by the 6 contemporary teachers. Now this question serve 2 purposes. Record their philosophical question, and it allows Buddha to distinguish his own doctrine from competing schools. Then Buddha explained the progressive fruits of monastic life as, first of all, moral discipline will come, senses control you will be able to take, mental tranquility will be there, meditation you will be able to do, and ultimately liberation you will get, guys. And this discourse ultimately satisfies the king over here, right? Now again, from a broader point of view, directly this question will not come, but you can always add these, like if you want to add some references, then you can add these references at Samanaphala Sutta of Digha Nikaya of Sutta Pitaka highlights these many schools at that point of time in the 6th century BC. This can be your opening statement of introduction. Not every story will be as completely. You don't have to write all the story what you are understanding in Samla Phala Sutta, right? Now you come to the broad outlook of how and what you have to understand in Buddhism and Jainism, guys, right? Just wait. I don't know why when I click over here, this goes back, right? Just wait. Okay. Buddhism over here, guys, right? What all you have to learn about over here? First of all, you will be learning about the early life of Buddha, right? Early life of Buddha. Second, you will be learning about from renunciation to enlightenment. To enlightenment. Third thing, you will be learning about his philosophies, doctrines, teachings. Call it the way you want. Okay. Then fourth, you will be learning about schools or before schools, councils, Buddhist councils. Then fifth, you will be learning about schools of Buddhism. Schools of Buddhism, right? Then sixth, you will be learning about, if we go over here, sixth, then you will be learning about scholars and their literature of Buddhism. Then seventh, you will be learning about art and architecture of Buddhism. These many topics you have to do for UPSC civil services, both prelims, mains and optional, guys, right? I have told you from the optional point of view. Now these are not the things which are important, early life, renunciation, but you have to understand this, right? Philosophies, just understand this, right? But these are very important from prelims point of view as well. In prelims boot camp, I will be telling you a lot in detail about these things. Over here, I will be telling you about certain things in depth. For example, in School of Buddhism, I will not be explaining you in detail about right now about the Mahayana Buddhism, which I will be doing later on in the Kanishka time period. Okay. But in the prelims bootcamp class, which I will be giving you near to prelims, that is in the December or January month, that class you have to see, and that will be holistic, completely holistic, guys, right? So layer wise layer, we will be building our knowledge. Okay. For us, primary is Buddhism. And in optional, I have shown you the question how repetitively they are not asking from this setup, but they are asking from this setup. Factors led to the rise of Buddhism and Jainism. Right, guys. Now we will understand about the early life of Buddha. Early life of Buddha. Right, early life of Buddha. This is our first heading. Now you try to understand how, like, take a broad perspective. Like we are understanding the Buddha's life from 0 to 29 and then 29 to 35. Over here we will be understanding his early life, and then this we will be understanding in the heading renunciation to enlightenment and why it happened. After 35 you are going to understand his philosophy, teachings and doctrines as well, right? So this we are going to understand, guys. Now most of the early life of Buddha we are knowing from what particular part? We are knowing it from the canonical literature, guys. Canonical means you will be finding this is the foundational literature of any religion, right? Canonical. And there are certain non-canonical texts as well. So in Buddhism, these canonical texts are written in Pali language, and these are primarily three. Later on, I will be telling you in the separate, I have told you literature and scholars. Separately, I will be telling you as well. So these Pali canons, which were later after the Buddha death were compiled, was Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka. Right now, just understand, no need to write Sutta Pitaka and Abhidhamma Pitaka. Abhidhamma Pitaka. Right? Now, most of the early life we are taking from these canonical literature, and later on the non-canonical literature as well, which are written on the biography of Buddha, like Buddha Charita of Ashwaghosh. Buddha Charita. Right, like Lalita Vistara, like Nidan Katha. Everything is written, don't worry, let me show you, just understand first of all. And one more book I will be telling you, that is Mahavastu. Now, first of all, you try to understand that these are Buddhist literature. These are Buddhist literature which you will be having on tips after this lecture, right? Or when you will be doing my prelims bootcamp, don't worry about it. Lalit Vistara, focus over here where I am letting you focus. So most of the sources of the early Buddha or the Buddhist life we are getting from Sutta and Vinaya, and then Lalita Vistara, Mahavastu, Buddha Charita and Nidan Katha. These are providing us the details. So whatever detail you know, I know, written in the books are from these particular part, guys. Just see this particular part. Okay, now you try to understand that Buddha was not at all a ordinary human being. Ordinary means I am not saying that he was having supernatural powers. No, for that particular time period as well, he was the son of a king, guys. So for society, it was not normal, right? So he was a son of a king, already a big thing over here, right? So you will be finding he will be born to the king of Sakya clan, the chief of Sakya clan, which is a Sakya clan is a Gana Sangh. It is already a Gana Sangh. All right. And over here you will be finding the king name is, you all must be knowing, Suddhodana. And you will be finding Suddhodana will be married to Queen Maya. Queen Maya. And after a long wait, they are going to have Siddharth. Siddharth. Right. Now it is said that while traveling to Queen Maya gave birth to Siddhartha while traveling to her parents' place, right? Her home, right? And in between, she was staying in the Lumbini one, and there Siddhartha born, guys. You try to understand. Now Lumbini one, that's why you must have heard about that Siddhartha got born in the Lumbini one, and Suddhodana was the king of Shakya clan, and Queen Maya you will be finding over here. Okay. It is also said that while just before the day Siddhartha was born, Queen Maya dreamt of an elephant entering her womb. Now this is an auspicious sign, guys. This is an auspicious sign that and when elephant is seen in a dream, right? So it is an auspicious thing over here that Siddhartha, when Siddhartha was born over here, it is said and written in Buddha Charita that when he born, you will be finding leaves fell off, like breeze went on, like this you will be finding. Now you try to understand. We don't know that how much truth in this, particular scene, which is narrated in Buddha Charita. But we know one thing that the followers of Buddha are admiring their gurus, admiring their this you can say leaders birth, right? They are admiring it because they don't want to create it any ordinary occasion. So likewise they are elaborating this occasion over here, and there might not be this we cannot see from the historical fact sense that this is right or wrong, right? But you try to understand this is their feeling, the followers feeling, right? They love Buddha and they're trying to portray Buddha as something big over here, right? So that's why whenever you will be reading this religious literature, you will be encountering all of these things, that the breeze will be going on. Whenever he stepped, lotus petals will be coming, rose petals will be coming, falling from the trees. Like this, you will be finding that stories will be there, right? And not only in Buddhism, but in Hinduism and in Christianism as well, you will be finding all these stories. Okay? Siddhartha over here will be taking birth, guys. Okay? Now what is going to happen is when Siddhartha got have taken the birth, Suddhodana called a lot of big people in his court, right? And out of those big people, you will be finding one ascetic will be coming, and he was a ascetic, and his name was, you will be finding, Sage Asita. So Sage Asita, while seeing Siddhartha, did one you will be finding foretelling. He predicted that Siddhartha is either going to be a Chakravartin, Samrat, a great king, or a great renunciator. This is either two things will be happening over here. After hearing this, you will be finding Suddhodana got worried. And from that moment onward, Suddhodana, from his age from 0 to 29, provided Buddha with all the luxuries, guys, of the life, all the luxuries he filled Siddhartha with, that any time Siddhartha should not feel that he want to leave this particular social world where like his family, his relation, other relationships you will be finding, right? So this you will be finding. So family, now you see father, mother. Later on, he will be getting at the age of maybe 12, 13, he will be getting married to Yashodhara and he will be having his son Rahula as well. He was born in Lumini, as you must be knowing that while mother was traveling to her parental home, and Queen Maya died a few days after the childbirth, right? So after the childbirth, you will be finding Queen Maya will be dying, and later on, Siddhartha care was taken by Prajapati Gautami. Prajapati Gautami. Gautami. Right? Her care was taken by Prajapati Gautami over here, right? So this particular understand. So Siddhartha from becoming to prevent Siddhartha from becoming a renunciator, so Dodana surrounded him with luxury, comfort, entertainment, pleasure. The aim was to ensure that he become a great ruler rather than a spiritual teacher over here, right? So first of all, you understand this over here. Now you try to understand why Buddhism was a revolution in itself. I am giving you a broad picture now, conceptual wise. Why Buddhism is treated to be a scientific religion, right? We are going to understand that. Second, why UPSC wants you to understand this religion, because this is a non-religious examination. But they always in prelims as well, in mains as well, in the optional as well, they focus upon the Buddhism and Jainism, guys. Why they want you to understand this particular religion, right? Why they want you to understand? You try to understand. The one concept I am giving over here. This is just for your insights, right? Nobody will ask you this, but the better insights will be, the better answers you will be writing. So try to understand that earlier the religion was animistic in nature. Animism was there, right? That means we will be appreciating the living things. We will be appreciating the non-living things, sun, water, right? We will be appreciating the things which we are not seeing, that the spirit as well. The humans, the animals, the non-living thing and spirit. This is nothing but you will be finding animism. And I have told you that we are, they used to see, these early people used to see themselves as to be one part of this particular interconnectedness, right? They use not to consider themselves the central part of this. Try to understand. Later on, this thing will be changing. When humans will be capable to control nature, they will keep themselves central, guys. They will keep themselves central. So this is human-centric religion now. And humans will be now creating the gods. So initially the god will be mother goddess when their profession will be agriculture. But later on, these gods will be changing the form into several gods like Indra, Rudra, like this, as per their desires will be growing and as per their occupation will be changing over here. I have told you this. But humans are worshipping now directly God, you try to understand. Okay? Some of the remnants will be there that they are worshipping. This animism will also be going on. But prominent form become that I desire something and I am asking from that, from a particular God. So a lot of gods will flourish, right? And this is the right chronology as well of belief, right? Now what is going to happen that over here a lot of gods will be flourishing, and you have seen the Brahmanical culture will be flourishing in the Vedic time period, later Vedic time period as well. How in 6th century BC Buddhism was a challenge to this was a challenge to this was, you will be understanding that Buddha was not at all interested between the connection of human and God. You try to understand. Okay? He was not interested in this connection. He was interested in further more. Right? He was interested in, that's why he never talked about God. I will be telling you, right? He was saying that these creation of all these things, he never denied that God was not there. He never accepted that gods are there. But he is saying until humans will be having this one thing in them, that will make them miserable always, and they will always in a search of certain God, right? So not any God will not be satisfy the human's desire and human's need. So he attacked the basic form over here, that is the desire. He attacked this desire. So what he did was he did the inner engineering, you can say, or the reverse engineering, that why these gods are created. You will say this god is for rain, this god is for war, this god is for fertility, this god is for money. So you are understanding, Buddha is understanding why this is in the first place we are creating it. These are being created by the human desire. So he attacked these desire, guys, that there should be extinguish of this desire which should happen. Then only you will be able to, in real sense, you will be able to get the truth. Otherwise, you will keep on creating the gods. Your desires will never end. Right? This is the main thing which you will be understanding, that Buddha, these other religion, these other heterodox sects were targeting over here. Like Jainism also targeting these desires over here. Right? So he targeted that how desires can be curbed. Okay. He gave the method for the curbing of this desire. That's why he never talked about God. That's why he never got talked about the metaphysical concept. Right? He gave an elaborate explanation that how desires are coming. Patika Samupada, I'll be telling you. So this is why you will be understanding that these religions became big. And there are other reasons related to that as well. Okay. So over here 0 to 29 filled with luxury, filled with everything. He's getting everything. So you can say that in this time period he was getting extreme happiness. Now you try to understand, when the people who are getting extreme happiness in this particular time frame, they will not understand what happiness is. Right? You try to understand, because all they have seen is one aspect of life, the positive aspect of life. Right? So as per the story, at the age of 29, he will be now choosing to go outside his home. Right? And it is said that Buddha's father Suddhodhan never wanted Buddha to go outside his palace. And whenever he used to go outside his palace, Suddhodhan used to order that you should clean the streets, no beggar should be in the streets. Right? Likewise, you have seen that if if a big program is going to happen in the capital city of Delhi, then the CP area get neat and clean. Right? Any big program, any summit is going to happen. Likewise, you will be finding that when Buddha used to go out to see the kingdom, basically, the Suddhodhan used to clean up the whole kingdom. Right? There should be no misery, there should be no disease, there should be no Swachh Bharat Abhiyan chalaoge. Right? Swachh Sakya Clan Abhiyan aapko dikhega, and everything should appear neat and clean over here. Right? So one day Buddha decided, and it is said that at this point of time, Buddha decided not by his own choice, but the Almighty wanted him to go outside at that particular time period. Now he decided to go out without telling his father. And you will be finding all the guards who were at the palace doors fell asleep, as if the Almighty wanted them to, as if the Almighty didn't want anybody to stop Buddha from going outside. These are written like this in the story, guys. Try to understand. So Buddha with his horse and with his chariot, you will be finding with the chana, you will be finding his charioteer, right? He will be going outside, and at that particular moment, he will be seeing four sights which will be converting his mind. Four sights he will be seeing. Now this is debatable over here, but we will not go into the debate, because the debate is later on put forward by B.R. Ambedkar theory of this four sides, guys. Right? But try to understand what major books are writing about it, which you must have also studied about. Four sides he will be seeing, and these four sides he will be seeing: one sick person, one diseased person में तो यही आ गया, one an old person, a dead body, and an ascetic. When he sees a sick person, his question comes to mind that whether this human body will get sick, whether my parents, whether my wife, whether my son, whether I will also be getting like this. Then the charioteer replied, yes, everybody has to go through this particular phase, because people sometimes suffer from disease as well. Then there will be an old person. He will be worried to think that his father will get also old. His near and dear ones will also get old. And he becomes sad after these, because he becomes you try to understand the person who has never seen these all things, and for the first time when he will be seeing all these things, he will really get sad, guys, thinking about that his near and dear ones are going to go through these situation. Death he saw, then he like he gave a thought about this death as well. We don't know that whether this is right or wrong, but you try to understand that these are written in the books, these are written in their sources. But you have to देखो, I will be teaching you from an academic point of view, from a competitive point of view, right? But these are the things which should not be taught from an academic point of view. Later in your life, when you will explore Buddha, you try to think that what might have gone inside his head, inside his mind, inside his heart while seeing all these things, guys. Over there, you will be discussing it. Over there, we will be discussing it. Not right now, I can discuss all those things, right? But that is the thing to discuss if you really want to change your life, right? If you really want to change your vision about the life. Right now we are studying this from a particular goal oriented way, that we have to clear examination, right? But later on, when you will be understanding Buddha as a personality, try to think from his perspective, then you will be traveling upon the path of a Buddha, and you might find a new path over here, altogether a new path. Because Buddha used to say that Apo Deepo Bhava, Apne Deep Khud Bano, be your own light, right? He never wanted that you become a handicap, right? And why he wanted, this is one of the major thing of Buddha as well, you will be finding, okay? Because he never made you handicap, he always made you capable of thinking and finding your own way, okay? So all these things, when he saw, he became sad, he became thoughtful, in a pensive state he went, and ultimately he saw the ascetic as well, and he asked what he is doing. And this ascetic is saying, whatever you have seen, there is suffering in all those things in this life. That's why I am trying to find a way to basically move out of this suffering. The Buddha thought that, is there a way to basically end all these sufferings? Right? Buddha might have thought that I am suffering because of desires later on, right? He might have thought about this. So all these things will be changing his side, you will be finding, right? All these four sides you will be finding: old man, sick man, corpse, renunciant over here. These experiences convince him that worldly pleasure could not overcome human suffering. And then what is going to happen? The great renunciation is going to happen, guys. Mahabhinishkarman. What is going to happen over here? That Buddha now will be deciding at that night that he will be moving out from his home, right? And try to understand that when he decided to move out, that episode is known as a Mahabhinishkarman. This is important for us. Mahabhinishkarman. All right. And again, that thing happened at night, that everybody fall in sleep as if they have been on drugs, right? And it is said that like whenever Buddha walked out of that particular palace, the trees petals will be falling down, so that even his step voice should not be there, right? And why it was happening? Maybe the universe gave it a sign, right? This was a universe sign that he has to move out. He has to move out to open up the new paths. Right now, this is a religious explanation, and there might be truth in that as well. You try to understand. But episode is known as a Mahabhinishkar. This you have to understand from examination perspective. From inner perspective, later on you can contemplate that what could have gone through Buddha's mind, because it is not an easy task seeing your wife, seeing your son, seeing your father, mother sleeping over there, and you are moving out quietly. This is a thing to think, guys, that what would have gone in his mind while leaving all of those people. You try to think that will you be able to leave your home permanently? It will be really difficult, right? It will be really difficult. So likewise, you must try to think that later on you will be thinking that what would have gone in his mind while thinking his wife and son. Why he did not tell them or bid them off? Because later on his wife will be having this complaint with the Buddha that why didn't you tell me at least? I would not have never stopped you, but you should have at least shown me some respect and told me the reason, or told me that you are going by. I would have bid farewell to you, last farewell to you. Like this, you will be finding there is a story involved as well, right? I'm trying to give you a broad picture. These are not required for examination, but a bigger picture you try to see. So this is known as Mahabhinishkarman. It is an important episode of Buddha life, that at the age of 29 he will be going from his home in the search of truth. In the search of truth, he will be going over here. All right. Now you see this image is portrayed in the sculpture that Queen Maya is sleeping, elephant will be entering her womb over here, right? Okay. So story overall you have understood about his early life. Nobody asks questions from here. It is just for understanding purpose. Then 29 to 35 you will be understanding about his renunciation to enlightenment. Now in renunciation to enlightenment, he has left his home. Mahabhinishkarman happened. Birth happened. Now enlightenment he will be getting at the age of 35. Now to get this enlightenment, it was not an easy task for him, guys. So at the age of 29, he will be leaving his home and he will be meeting some gurus over here that he want to understand that what is the truth of life. Because I am not able to find any relationship worthy of truth. Because if the relationships he might have understood are interest based. If somebody is loving me, might be for some interest. If I am loving someone, might be of some interest. All right. And if there are interest involved, that means there is sorrow involved as well. So he found out certain gurus while in his renunciation to enlightenment phase. And he will be meeting two primary guru, that is Alara Kalam. And you will be finding Udalaka Ramputra. These two personalities he will be meeting and he will be understanding various things about meditation over here, guys. Meditation, the Sankhya philosophy, the meditative philosophies, the meditation he will be understanding from these gurus over here, guys, right? That try to learn these meditative practices, and these are advanced meditative practices which he will be learning from them. But Buddha was not satisfied with these teachings. He wanted something more to know, because he was not getting satisfied even after attaining, even after learning all these advanced meditative practices. He was thinking that there is something more which is there, right? I'm not able to get to the conclusion. So then Alara Kalma and Udalaka Ramputra said that we know this much only, now you have to travel upon your own path, right? Then after going ahead, he will be now meeting the group of 5 people over here, guys. And these group of 5 people, when he saw, then these group of 5 people were basically practicing extreme meditative practices. They were doing extreme penance, guys, right? And he was mesmerized to see this, that he was saying that if I'll do these practices, then I might get the truth over here. I might try to see that what is the real truth if I go through these practices, what these 5 people were doing. So what these 5 people used to do was, and these are the 5 first disciples which later on become, right now, the companions. He will be like, Buddha will be joining these 5 people, and these will be like companions over here, equal. And what these 5 people used to do was, they used to eat one bowl of rice in a week, I'm saying, and then one grain in a month. Likewise, they used to reduce their food intake all through. All right. And they used to wear these like tone clothes you will be finding, right? And you will be finding those type of clothes made up of jute. You will be finding, like, which gives more heat in the summers, and more you will be finding cold in the winters. Like this, they used to wear these type of clothes so that they their body suffer over there, because they don't used to consider their body and their mind, their meditative mind, to be at the same place, right? Because they used to say that this is just, body is just a vehicle, right? So over here you will be understanding that ultimately they used to go through a lot of extreme penance, and they tried it. Buddha also tried it for certain time period, for a long time period, you will be finding. Now Buddha understood by these practices, will he be getting enlightenment? No, they will not be getting enlightenment. He will not be getting enlightenment by this practice. What he understood, that his body, his mind, is not able to do meditation as properly as he was earlier able to do it. And he is unnecessarily providing harm to his physical body, which he understood, right? And you will be finding how he looked at that particular time period is portrayed in this particular image, guys. No flesh was on the body, and this is portrayed by this particular figure. Only ribs, only bones were highlighted. This was such the condition you will be finding. Obviously, normal people will be shocked to basically see this, and they will always revere these type of people because, and why the reverence will be happening? You try to understand. If he would have been an ordinary beggar, son of a beggar, then might not be that respect he might be getting. But he was a son of a king, guys. You try to understand, and choosing this path was mesmerizing for the people. Always try to understand. This should be mesmerizing to you as well after getting into power or after getting a lot of money from anywhere, any profession you do. I wish you earn a lot of fame and a lot of money as well. But you try to understand. One personality is sitting over here ignoring everything which you are dying for, right? Which you are like, you will be understanding that you are putting your heart and soul to earn that particular thing. This person have rejected everything over here. So this is always showing you an alternative path that never get trapped into these desires of more, and you will ultimately lead to this cycle of corruption unknowingly. People in their preparation phase are not tempted for money, but after they get into the position, into the job, they are more prone to fall into this particular part, any type of corruption, right? Always think about these people who never chose this path, even they had all the resources at their disposal. They could utilize as much as they want. They could have led a comfortable lives even for 200, 300 more years. Right? You will be understanding. So these are the people over here. That's why you must be thinking about that society. The society might be seeing him from that perspective. Right? It is a great thing. Now Buddha did not found peace, did not found truth in this as well. What he will be doing, he will be leaving these five companions, and what he will be doing, he will be accepting a bowl of rice as well over here by a female which is very famous, Sujata, you will be seeing, right? Now you try to understand that for few months, for few days, he will be now deciding that he will be meditating under the Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya. At Bodh Gaya, under the Bodhi tree, he will be meditating quietly. And while his meditation, guys, while his meditation, he will be ultimately getting the enlightenment. And it is said that he will be like for few days, for certain months, he did not speak. After getting this enlightenment, he did not speak to anybody. He rather contemplated that what all he has learned. All right, he understood that what is his feeling. How is he so liberated? Now, enlightenment is not. Now, I have also listened. I am also not an enlightened being. But I have what I have heard and what I have read is enlightenment is nothing big which you will be able to see. Enlightenment is that you will be, it will be very ordinary situation, but you will be awakened. How you will be awakened? Maybe you are free from all the bonds. Maybe I don't know what is enlightenment basically, but from the Buddha's perspective, enlightenment he will be giving you by his teachings, which will be understanding. Okay. But enlightenment for different people were different. Somebody nirvana, somebody moksha, somebody wisdom, somebody other name, Kaivalya, right? Different names you will be finding, but they might have somewhere experienced the same thing, right? So over here you will be finding, according to the tradition, Sujata offered him milk, rice, and his companions believed he had abandoned asceticism and left him. This marks the beginning. Now this I will be telling you later on, but you understand that after that he sat under the Bodhi tree and got his enlightenment. Okay, so when he got his enlightenment, now he will be for few days, for certain days, he will not be moving from there and he will be contemplating what he had understood, right? Then you will be finding in his, it is said that in his thinking, in his dream, you will be finding that an outer force, right? The Almighty, you can say, asked him that you should basically teach the humanity what you have learned, right? It is said, it is written in the scriptures, right? So then he will be deciding that he will be first teaching this to his five companions. Companions, I'm still saying, right? And he got to know that these companions were residing in the deer park near Sarnath. In Sarnath, you will be finding deer park, these five companions still practicing these ascetic complete austerity, right? So Buddha will decide to go over here. Now this is a story involving that when these five companions saw Siddhartha, this Buddha to basically reach up to them, these five companions kind of become they were not very appreciative of Buddha joining them again, or they are not welcoming of Buddha over here, guys. Because for them, he was just Siddhartha who has left their company, who has left the austerity. Obviously, these five companions will not be having the same respect because these are still continuing those hard practices. And they were thinking that this personality has left these hard practices over here, right? He was not able to do it. So they will not be seeing this personality, this Siddhartha, when he will be approaching towards them with a positive eyes. They will be having this derogatory eyes towards Buddha, guys, towards Siddhartha. So what happened over here that these five companions initially will not be appreciative of him. But when they called over here that Siddhartha, how are you or kaise ho tum? So over here, this person, Siddharth, called them that I am no more Siddharth. The Siddharth you were knowing is gone. So my name is not Siddharth. You can call me Tathagat. Tathagat is the name which he is getting right now, Tathagat. One who has come and one who has gone. I have no existent. I have come over here and I'll be going soon as well, Tathagat. So that's why he will be getting this name as Tathagat over here, and he will be now. Buddha is also called Tathagat, one who has thus come and thus gone, signifying who has transcended the cycle of birth and rebirth. Basically, I will be telling you about this as well. So he will be saying these disciples that I am a Tathagat, I am not Siddhartha anymore. Who is Siddhartha? I also don't know him, right? Now, this has been highlighted by different people, like at different point of times. Okay, I am not able to remember some scholars, but one of the scholars said that when I was a human, I want to know the God. But when I know the God, I forget that who is a human or I am a human, right? When I was a human, I want to achieve God, right? I want to see God. But when I saw God, I forgot that I am a human. That means it's showing the oneness over here, guys. Oneness over here that we are one. God, which we are visualizing, is in ourselves only. And when we see that we are God, we will not no more see us as human. So this might have happened in Buddha's terminology. He was saying that I am Tathagata. And again, these are the accounts from the Buddhist sources only, which I am telling you. Okay. Right. So these five companions found him unusual. He found them that this personality is saying something else which we might not be knowing. These five disciples might not be knowing. Right. They started hearing out Buddha that what you have known, what your enlightenment process was like, and how you will be suggesting us to basically go into these paths of enlightenment, or how we can achieve the enlightenment. So these five disciples became, see, these five companions became the first five disciples of Buddha, and later on all of them achieved the arhatship. Arhatship means enlightened being as well. Arhat. Okay. They also became enlightened over here. So who were the first companions? These are the names written over here. आपको अभी याद मत करो, लेकिन for prelims you need it. Mahanna, Kodanna, Bhadiya, Vappa, Aswajita. These were the first five disciples, right? And they will be becoming the Arhat as well. Arhat. Okay, later on these people will also be coming, but I will be telling you later on. First of all, over here you have understood that now Buddha has become enlightened, and he has made his disciples also enlightened over here. Now comes the time of teachings, guys. Okay, teachings. Doctrines, you can say. And you can also say philosophies. Philosophies, right? Teachings, doctrine, philosophies. Now over here you try to understand. First, he gave the simplest thing, but not yet simple, that is four noble truths. Char Arya Satya. Second, he gave five percepts. Right? That I will be telling you about. Third, he gave about you will be finding Patika Samupada. Pronunciated by different people as by different name. ठीक है. पतितात समुपदा भी बोला जाता है, संपदा भी बोला जाता है, पति का समुपदा भी आप देखोगे. And their fourth will be, you will be finding some other things as well. I will be teaching you over here. ठीक है. I will be telling you over here. So first of all, the four noble truth you try to understand over here. These are the four noble truth. First noble truth is the world is full of suffering. World is full of suffering. That is dukha. Dukha. A world, the noble truth is suffering over here. Then there is, you will be finding second, samudaya. Samudaya means that the origin of suffering is a desire. The arising and origin of dukkha, you will be finding that is desires. Then that is a nirodh. The third noble truth is that there is cessation of this particular suffering as well, you will be finding. This is a nirodh, how you will be stopping this dukkha. There is a nirodh. And the fourth is that there is a marg leading to that. There is a way as well, I will be telling you. I have spotted the problem. I have spotted the cause of the problem. And there is a way to stop this problem as well. This is nothing but four Arya Satya. So over here, if you will know the foundation of Buddhism in the doctrine of Four Noble Truths, Dukkha, Samudaya, Nirodha, Marg. These are in Pali, right? In English, you can convert this as well over here. Life involves suffering. Suffering has a cause. Suffering can end. There is a path leading to its cessation. And in the fourth noble truth, he has given Ashtangik Marg. He has given Ashtangik Marg over here. The first noble truth calls that Sabam Dukham, all conditioned existence is suffering. Dukha include desire, death, mental suffering, anxiety, fear. You want to become IAS. Daily you are suffering from this particular desire. You want someone in your life right now. This is also a cause of anxiety which you are facing. Again, suffering. You have lost someone. You have gone through a breakup right now in your situation. That is a cause of suffering as well. You will be finding. Take care. Even happiness is impermanent and therefore ultimately it will be unsatisfactory. Suffering is not merely pain but the inherent instability of worldly existence. That if you are existing, you will be suffering over here. The second noble truth, samudaya, the root cause of suffering is trishna, desire for pleasure, wealth, power, attachment to people, possession, want some people, ego, pride, ignorance. Alright, according to Buddha, attachment binds individual to the endless cycle of birth and rebirth. Third noble truth is nirodh. Since suffering has a cause, it also has an end. That how you will be freeing yourself from attachment, inner peace and liberation. So nirvana is not heaven but the extinguishing of desire and suffering you will be finding over here, right? Then fourth noble truth is the path, marg, and he gave the eightfold path over here which you will be understanding and the middle path as well, but eightfold path you will be finding. So over here, first of all, four noble truth, but over here I will be telling you the middle path. The transitory nature of being, transitory nature of being. Okay, this also I will be explaining you later on. Okay, but I have added this over here. So these are the noble eightfold path, guys. Right view and right intention will be giving you the wisdom, will be giving you the gyan. Right view and right intention. If you are thinking positively and you have intention, good intention of doing anything, then you have wisdom. When you are thinking rightly, when you have good intention, obviously your speech will not be hurting others. You will not be saying mean things. Okay, you cannot speak mean things to others and then say that my intention was good. I did not intend to hurt you. No. When you have right intention, right view, your speech will also be right. Okay, your action will also be good and you will be leading a good livelihood. So this comes under conduct. You will be having a right conduct. Alright, you have right wisdom, you have a right conduct. And then if you have achieved this as well, then you prepare your mind over here, and this is a right effort, concentration and mindfulness. This is known as mental conduct or mental discipline. ठीक है, इसको आप बोल सकते हो mental discipline. You are training your mind, and this is nothing but your eightfold path. You can see over here. Now let me zoom it out. So eightfold path content, wisdom, right view, intention, ethical conduct, sila बोलते हैं इसको पाली में, meditation, samadhi. Three word division है. Buddha rejected the two extremes. This also I will be telling you. देखो, Buddha is someone who has seen both the extreme. One who has earned a lot of money will be understanding in real sense that there is no happiness in money. He can say that there is nothing, like there is no happiness in money if you are looking, if you are trying to gather a lot of money, right? So 0 to 29, you will be finding extreme happiness, indulgences, right? Right over here, he was surrounded by the extremities of positiveness, happiness. 29 to 35, he has seen the extremes of poverty, extremes of hardship, extreme of asceticism, where he is harming his body as well intentionally. So this, he has seen the extreme pain as well, extreme pleasure as well. So over here, he has given us the mean path over here, that is the middle way. Always in your life, choose the middle path, not the extremes. In your daily choices, if you want to choose, for example, an ethical question comes in front of you in ethics, you can apply the Buddha middle path over there as well. Not more harm, not more pleasure, not more benefit. Equal. Equal harm and equal benefit. Like this, you can apply this middle path as well. ठीक है, now let me tell you about four noble truths, ultimate important, you have understood. This is the core of Buddha. ठीक है, now let me tell you the transitory nature of P. Transitory nature of P. Transient means for momentary time period, for some time period, momentariness. Nothing is, Buddhism whole teaching is nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent, you try to understand. So if their whole philosophy is revolving around that nothing is permanent, then will the soul, which is the concept very much prevalent in that time period, Vedic Brahmanical religion as well, soul is one of the important thing. Will they be believing in soul? No. Because Buddha is saying everything in transient, then they cannot accept this permanent entity over here, that is soul. Buddha is saying this is also nothing over here. We don't believe in soul over here, right? Rather, they gave two theories over here, that is Anika and Anatta. These two theories you try to understand, or these two words you try to understand. Anika and Anatta. Anika means impermanence. Kind of same you will be finding the Anatta as well. Anatta means a doctrine of non-self. There is no self, impermanence. Overall, these philosophies will be talking about that there is no permanent thing over here. Everything is in transitory motion, right? Everything will be changing. Every form will be changing over here, and it will be taking some new forms, right? Let me show you. So a central Buddhist doctrine is Anika, impermanence, and Anatta, doctrine of non-self. आप दोनों को देखोगे तो you will be finding kind of same thing they are talking about. Rejected the idea of permanent eternal soul. Everything in existence is temporary, changing, unstable. Nothing remains exactly the same from one moment to the next. How they basically said it by the river analogy. You are saying that river is flowing. You are seeing that single river is flowing. But inside that every particle is changing. Every particle is changing, right? And flowing and moving ahead. If you will see this part, it was never the same, but it will appear that it is same, but it is never same because the particles under it will be changing, right? So the human body ages, emotion changes, relationship evolves, civilization rise and decline. Because everything changes, attachment inevitably produces suffering over here, right? This you will be finding. Even human relationship, you keep it at the first, that they also change, which you can see over here. Till now, you might have realized it as well. But broad things as well, broad things, humans, relationships, every damn thing in this universe is in transitory motion as per Buddhism. Then they say that rejection of the non-self as well. We are built up of our body, feelings, perception, mental formation and consciousness, right? Once this is gone, we are gone, and this keeps on changing over here. So they say that they are collectively known as, these are collectively known as five aggregates, Panch Skandhas over here. Thus, what we call self is only a convenient label for an ever-changing process, right? What are those five aggregates, Panch Skandhas? The Buddha explained personality through the doctrine of five aggregates, and they are divided into Roop and Naam. Roop means physical and Naam is mental consciousness. Roop, physical body or material form. Vedana, feelings or sensation arising from sensory contact. Sana, No need to learn all these things, guys, over here. Perception or recognition, Sankhara, mental formation, and Vignan, consciousness or awareness. I or self is therefore not a permanent entity but a continuously changing aggregation of these 5 elements you will be finding, right? This is one thing you will be seeing. So this was your transitory nature of being. Transitory nature of being explained by Anika and Anatta, that is impermanence and doctrine of non-self. Okay, next you come to middle path. I have explained you transitory nature of being. I have explained you. So soul concept they will not be believing in. 5 percepts. Let me go to the Buddhist ethical code and you will be finding that they give 5 percepts over here for lay followers and 10 percepts over here for monks and nuns. This I will be telling you when I will be telling you about the Sangha. These Sangha people have to follow 10 percept if they have become a monk, bhikkhu. But if they are a lay follower over here, I will be telling you what do I mean by this. They have to follow 5 percept. So these are the 5 percepts which you have to know. That is, these are simple: non-killing, non-theft, staying away from sexual misconduct, abstention from falsehood, and abstention from alcohol and drugs. These are the code of conducts which every human being who is following a Buddhist principle, Sangha, has to follow. But if you are a bhikkhu and joined the Sangha, you have to follow 5 more percepts over here, which you don't have to remember. But let me show you that these 5 percepts, including these 10, are written over here. You can pause the video and see these 10 over here. No need to remember, just remember 5 percepts. Alright. So this is your second important teaching, 5 percepts. Now comes the important part, which is explaining that why desires come over here. And this is being explained in his concept of Patika Samupada. And when you will be finding this Patika Samupada, it is also written as Pratitiya Samutpada or Patika Samupada. This is one of the deepest philosophical principles of Buddhism. It states that nothing exists independently, everything arises from cause and condition. So if any desire is coming in you, it is not independent origination, it has some dependence, right? It is arising from something. So suffering has cause, existence has cause, liberation also has cause, and everything is interconnected. Now you try to understand that he has explained it from this 12 nidans, chain of dependent origination. पतिका समुपदा को लॉ ऑफ डिपेंडेंट ओरिजिनेशन भी बोला जाता है इंग्लिश में. यहां तक आप याद करोगे जो मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी बता दिया है. नाउ दिस थिंग यू डोंट हैव टू रिमेंबर, दिस थिंग यू जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड. Buddha has given the whole theory that how these desires are getting formed and how you are taking rebirth because of this. He is saying avidya, delusion, you are not knowing actual thing. Sanskar, impulses and action, this might have happened in the past and this became the cause of the future which you are going to face. Effect, cause and effect he is telling you. Okay? So consciousness, then you will be getting name and form, sense organs, contact, feeling, craving, grasping, being, and then again birth will be having, and old age and death will be happening. Now he connected all these things in 12 categories. 8 यहाँ, 2 यहाँ और 2 यहाँ, right? You will be finding 2 यहाँ पे, right? So in 12 categories he will be defining all of these. We don't have to learn this, guys. Now you try to understand over here, he says that you can stop your desires at the craving level. If you will stop over here, you will never be taking rebirth. Or you can make yourself correct in the avidya level, delusion level. At 2 levels you can cure yourself and you can free from this cycle. Ultimately, enlightenment means freeing yourself from the cycle of birth and rebirth. ठीक है, बर्थ और रिबर्थ से फ्री होना ही एनलाइटनमेंट है, राइट? सो दिस इज एक्सप्लेन्ड लाइक दिस एज वेल. इग्नोरेंस, फॉर्मेशन, कॉन्शियसनेस, नेम एंड फॉर्म, 6 senses. If you want to read, you can read, otherwise not needed over here, guys. ठीक है. So he says over here you will be understanding the cycle explains origin of suffering, continuity of rebirth, and cause of nature of existence. Past life ignorance, mental formation, present life consciousness to becoming, future life birth, old age and death. The dependent origination also became an explanation of rebirth as well, right? So these are the 4 important teachings which you are be getting from the Buddha over here, guys. And ultimately all these teachings will be leading to you at what? Nirvana. Nirvana, that is extinction of desires ultimately. Okay, let me show you this. Extinction of desires, blowing out or extinguishing. क्या एक्सटिंग्विश हुआ है? व्हाट हैज एक्सटिंग्विश? डिजायर, ग्रीड, हेट्रेड, इग्नोरेंस. Characteristic of nirvana, not a physical place, a state of perfect freedom, can be attained during one's lifetime, and a cycle of birth and rebirth will be happening over here. Nirvana and parinirvana is different. Parinirvana is when Buddha got finally died, passed away from his physical existence. This is Mahaparinirvana or Parinirvana. Nirvana is attained during the lifetime and freedom from desire over here you will be seeing. Now they did not believe in soul, so he used to get asked that if there is no soul, then what according to you, you are saying that is reborn. Buddha is saying that candle flame analogy. He is saying that a flame lighting another candle is neither exactly the same nor entirely different. So if we are getting reborn, we are not having the same soul which you are talking about that is permanent. No, we are, when rebirth involves continuity without a permanent soul, like a candle lighting the other candle, right? They are not entirely same, they are not entirely different as well. He gave the milk analogy as well. In Milan Pano compares rebirth to milk is transformed into curd, curd can be transformed into butter, butter can be transformed into ghee. Each stage develops from the previous one. That means there might be some constituents of the previous stage, yet none is identical to the other stage you will be finding. Okay? This is one thing. Also, let us talk about that. Do Buddha believe in karma? Yes, Buddha believed in karma, not in soul. Buddha redefined karma. Karma primarily referred to ritual action, sacrificial performance in Brahmanical view. That you have to improve your karma, you do this yagya. But in Buddhist view, karma is intentional action. Body, speech, mind, the eightfold path which we are talking about. So he talked it in more practical sense over here, guys, right? Therefore, intention, not ritual, determines future rebirth over here. So almost everything I have taught you with respect to his prominent philosophies. More if you will be learning as you will be finding different school and different interpretations, right? Now, after learning this particular aspect, you try to understand. After learning this from Buddha, these 5 disciples asked Buddha that you have to form an organization. An organization is needed because your ideas are revolutionary and they are unique, which we should help the humanity to get liberated from this worldly suffering as well, because there is a lot of people suffering from all these things, right? So these people, these 5 people asked Buddha to form the Sangh. Okay. Sangh is an organization structure given to this Buddhist religious ideology, philosophical ideology. And you try to understand that this Sangh will be giving the continuity to Buddhist ideas, which this Sangh became one of the factors to make Buddhism so popular, right? This Sangh became one of the factors. So it gave the institutional you can say connection or connectivity for the future as well, and it will be giving us, it is the Sangha will be sustaining this particular Buddhist principle as well, that you will be understanding in a while, right? Now Sangha. Now first of all, how you can join a Sangha, guys? How you can join a Sangha? You can join a Sangha by renunciating the word, renunciating, all right? That you have to renunciate your family life. You have to be a renunciator. Second, you can join the Sangh by just being you don't have to renunciate your home. You be a lay follower. Means you follow your household life and you can join the Sangh as well. Okay. When you are a lay follower, you want to live your household life as well and want to know the Buddhist principle, want to follow this Buddhist principle. You will be known as Upasaka and Upasika. Female Upasika, Upasaka over here. When you have renunciated your household, you will be known as Pravarjaka. Pravarjaka. Pravarjaka, right? And when you will be entering into the Sangh, the first ceremony which will be happening of a Pravarjaka is a Pravarajya. Pravarajya. Pronunciate the way you want. Pravarjya, right? By the word itself means going forth. What will be happening in this ceremony in the Sangh is your head will be shaved, you will be wearing this robe, and you will become a beginner in the Sangh. You will be known as a novice, beginner, right? Later on, you will be officially inducted into the Sangh by the ceremony known as Upsampada. Upsampada ceremony. Upsampada ceremony. That means you have formally inducted into the Sangh. This means ordination. Ordination. right? What you will be understanding over here is now you have become a full monk, bhikkhu or bhikkhuni inside the Sangha. Usually, now you will be finding when you are living in a Sangha, you are living in an organization, you have to follow the rules. And these rules are primarily coming from Vinay Pitaka. Vinay Pitaka. And Vinay Pitaka, I will be opening it up, it will be having several parts. Alright. In one part, you will be finding it is Sutta Vibhanga. These rules are written in Sutta Vibhanga, Khadaka, Khandaka, and you will be finding Parivara. These are the parts of Vinay Pitaka. I will be showing you later on. Okay, when in the literature part as well. Vinay Pitaka is divided into compilation, Sutta Vibhamba, Khandaka and Parivara. All these will be giving you the rules to live in a Sangha related to what your food practices, what your clothing practices, how you will talk to your fellow people, how you will be talking to the lay followers outside, how you have to maintain with the society. Every small thing is highlighted over here. All right. And the most important rule which is highlighted in the Sangha is Patimokkha. Patimokkha. So these are the most important rules which regulate the conduct of monks and nuns, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. Okay, Patimokkha. Right. Okay. Now, if somebody has violated the rules, then there used to happen one ceremony, Uposatha ceremony. Uposatha ceremony. In this ceremony, these all people will be coming together over here and will be admitting their sins. Right? That I have done this, I have eaten this, I have done this, right? There are some sins which are completely forbidden, which will be making you out of this, which will be like completely removing you from the Sangha. You will be expelled from the Sangha, right? There are certain things like you don't have to do a sexual misconduct with inside this Sangha, right? You don't have to steal anything. You don't have to lie. Like this, you will be finding 4 or 5 reasons which I'll be showing you. So overall, what you have to understand, renunciating, pravarjaka. This is a PYQ in prelims. Upasaka, PYQ in prelims, and other things can be PYQ from the terminology sense as well. Okay, the Sangha is involving. So this is the explain. If in optional, they will be asking you the Sangha organizational features, तो आप ये सारी चीजें लिख सकते हो. Ultimately, when the person is coming to the Sangha, why is he coming to the Sangha? What is the ultimate objective of joining the Sangha? The ultimate objective is to basically get a nirvana. Ultimately getting is enlightenment. Right, enlightenment. So the people who will be coming over here will not be known as Arhat, will not be known as Buddha, but will be known as Arhat. Alright. So there is a difference between Buddha and Arhat which comes. Now, can you tell me, will you be able to tell me, pause the video and think about that, what is the difference between Buddha and Arhat? Now, this Buddha also explained that Buddha is basically the one who has found out the new way to achieve this enlightenment. That's why Buddha is always higher. Where other people have traveled upon the known path and become and have achieved this particular salvation. So they are Arhat. Both are enlightened beings, but somewhere Arhat is below Buddha over here. Not exactly you will be finding, but there is a debate which is highlighted between Buddha and Arhat, right? So I hope you have understood this structure with respect to the Sangha. Now you try to read this Sangha out. Pause the video first, try to understand the Sangha. Then you try to understand that how you will be entering the Sangha. First of all, how you know about this rules, Vinay Pitaka. Then how you will be entering this Sangha, Pravarjya. Everything I have highlighted is written over here. But understand how you will be seeing. Pravarjya and Upasamapada after entering the Sangha. Then you will be finding that there are certain rules, Patimokkha. Okay? Just read this Patimokkha out. Then you will be finding over here that there is certain ceremony, Uposatha ceremony, if you have done certain sin. And 4 prajakya offenses means this, if you will be doing, you will be expelled. Sexual intercourse, theft, murder, false claims of spiritual enlightenment, you will be expelled completely. ठीक है. I have told you that there will be lay followers also who will be joining the Sangha. ठीक है. उनके लिए 5 percepts हैं, and those who will be the monks and nun उनके लिए 10 percepts हैं. अब ये आप देखो यहाँ पर, right? Everything is written, but the understanding should be different. The way we have understood is different, right? Okay. Now first lay followers which are highlighted in your book is Tapasu and Bhalika were the first Upasakas, means lay disciples. Ashoka was the first and Upasaka you will be finding. It was a lay follower. Buddha's own father was a lay follower, not a monk, right? So this you have understood the institutional capacity of the Buddha as well. So in Buddha, you have learned about the early life. You have learned about renunciation to enlightenment. You have learned about the doctrine, teachings and philosophies. You have learned about the Sangha. More thing about the Sangha I will be telling you. Now in prelims boot camp, देखो there are a lot of things like which are left, like Buddhist councils, schools, scholars and literature, and art and culture. Now these things I will be dealing with respect to your prelims boot camp classes, guys, because these are primarily important from there. Optional, never they have asked about this, but yes, we will not leave this out as well, but we will be covering it in the prelims boot camp classes, guys, right? Because that is more primarily from focused from the boot camp classes, and then it will be like more good, more a better understanding you will be getting of this Buddhism topic. ठीक है, तो after this try to make the notes on A4 size sheet, and later on add these sheets as well of Buddhist council, of schools, because these schools, Buddhist council will be happening a lot later on as well. Right now we are in the age of Buddha, age of Mahajanpadas, right? So as we will move forward in, like for example Kanishka, I'll be telling you about this Mahayana, Vajrayana philosophy as well, Nagarjuna as well, but we will be compiling it all at one place in the time period or in the prelims boot camp class. That will be more beneficial for us, but at the right point of time I will be telling you the developments in Buddha as well, right? For example, in the time period of Buddha, the art and culture was not so much flourishing. Buddha, because Buddha was shown as a iconic. Whereas you will be finding later on in the Maurya, I will be telling you that this Buddha art flourished. So over there, I will be telling you about something. But we will be compiling everything of Buddha under art and culture aspect in the prelims boot camp class or the art and culture class, which I will be taking. So don't worry about it, right? Guys, now let us understand one more concept over here, that how much you can say Buddhism was giving us the new concepts over here. Or was it inspired by the earlier traditions which already were discussing these things, that is Upanishads? That means Buddhism and all these heterodox religion must be having some Upanishadic root over here, right? That is why quite a few times they are asking you question from here that tell us how Buddhism and other religion were inspired by Upanishads and how they were different. So over here two things come into picture, that what are the similarities which Buddhism and other religion talked about, which are there present in the Upanishads, and Upanishads have already talked in the 1900 BC era, right? 300, 400 before that. And what are the differences as well? What makes Buddhism and Jainism unique as well? You have to know. When you will be knowing these two things, you are good to go with the questions like these, guys, right? Let us see that first of all the similarities which you are going to find, right? What they both were talking about. Now, what Buddhism, when talking about karma and rebirth, whether Buddhism believed in this? Yes. Karma and rebirth, Buddha believed, right? And both were talking about this. Upanishads were the first to deviate from the Vedic practices which were happening. That is, karma is not the sacrifices, the yagna which you are doing. No. So, Upanishads are moving these karma based upon these sacrifices to the moral actions, morality of your actions, either positive or negative, bad karma, good karma over here, and that will tell you over here, or that will predict your rebirth over here, right? That whether you will be in this cycle of sansar or not. This is one thing they both were talking about. Whereas in Buddhism, karma was more again similar to the Upanishadic karma over here, that how much what intention you are having, with what intention you are doing your action or conduct over here, right? And the rebirth Buddhism, over here rebirth as per Upanishad, you will be finding, but just understand first everything is written. Rebirth is of the soul, the permanent soul concept Upanishads were believing in, but Buddhism were considering rebirth is happening, but there is no soul concept over here, which is again and again coming over here. So there is no permanent soul which they are believing in. They are saying that rebirth is happening, but the person who has reborn is neither completely the same nor completely the different entity. So they have given the candle ideology. Like I have told you that when you light some candle, on the other candle you will be finding the same type of fire, right? But the same candles are not same, right? This flame is not same over here. There will be some differences, but the flame is also not entirely different. So this is their argument you will be finding. So karma and rebirth. Now everything is written, guys, over here. Upanishadic roots of Buddhism, karma and rebirth, acceptance. Upanishad shifted attention from external sacrifices with Brahmanical religion was focusing upon to the moral consequences of human actions. Buddhism also accepted karma as determining future existence, and you will be in this cycle of rebirth, sansar. However, it interpreted karma primarily as intentional moral action, chetana, rather than ritual performance, right? Second is quest for liberation. Both of the houses, both of these schools believed in liberation. Upanishads believed in moksha, liberation from the sansara, but Upanishads liberation is different. That I will be telling you a bit later on. Upanishads believe in universal soul, which they call at Brahma, and individual soul, which they call it as Atma. As per Upanishads, individual soul will keep on returning if keep on returning because of the karmas over here. But if you will achieve salvation, moksha, then your individual soul will merge with universal soul, and you will not, Paramatma bhi bola jata hai isko, and you will not be taking like birth again over here, right? You will be free from the cycle of birth and rebirth, all right? The same concept you will be finding, but not in the soul type of concept you will be seeing, that liberation from dukha and sansara. ठीक है, तो core differences भी आप समझ रहे हो, soul आ रहा है, ठीक है. Nirvana means that you are free from dukh and sansara over here, thus both sought freedom from rebirth. Third is renunciation. Later Upanishads glorified asceticism, detachment, meditation, renunciation, worldly life. Buddha himself allowed this renunciatory ideal before attaining enlightenment. But Buddha added one more thing, that is Sangha, institutionalized it, right? Just wait. Then fourth is ethical emphasis. The Upanishad increasingly emphasized on truth, self-control, compassion. Similar goes with the Buddhism eightfold path, which you have understood about. Meditation and self-discipline they talked about over here, guys, right? Now what are the differences? First of all, Atma, that is soul concept, they will not be believing in. Atma is eternal in Upanishad, and it is a primary concept of Atma and Brahman. Universal soul, individual soul. But Buddhism believed in no such thing as no permanent soul, anatta. Anika, everything is in transitory motion, and what we are the aggregates of five things over here, right? Rejection of Brahman over here, again same thing. Rejection of Vedic authority, like the Upanishads which accepted the authority of Vedas and Vedic revelation, but this particular Buddhism was based upon a personal experience, reason and ethical practice. Four noble truths you will be finding. The Buddhist explanation of suffering is through dukkha, Nirvana, eightfold path, and it has no exact parallel in the Upanishads. Dependent origination was also completely new over here, which is defining what are the root causes of desires, right? So this is also no. And institutional innovation. Upanishadic tradition lacked an organized missionary institution, whereas Buddhism created Sangha, Vinaya rules, monastic organization, missionary networks over here. Right? So although Buddhism inherited several philosophical themes from Upanishadic tradition, it fundamentally reinterpreted them to create a distinct worldview. Amazing conclusion over here already you have. You invest your time to rectify this conclusion, not to read or not to search on your own different conclusion. Don't waste time, guys, right? Okay, so this is one particular thought with respect to the roots of Buddhism in the Upanishadic thought, right? Now there is one more concept which they have asked, that the relationship between the Buddhist establishments like Sangha, Vihar, Chaitya, Buddhist establishment, and their link with the traders, trade routes, guilds, and the state, how they much interconnected with this you will be finding, and with the society as well. You can see that this Buddhist establishment, particularly Sangha, was not an completely isolated entity. They were very well connected with the state, very well connected with the society, very well connected with the traders, very well connected with the guild, which might have led to the flourishment of Buddhism. Alright. So symbiotic relationship between Buddhist establishment, traders, guilds, and the state. Now, Buddhist monasteries flourished along trade routes. Most monasteries were established near trade routes, urban centers, river valley, and ports, like Sanchi, Bharut, Amravati, you will be finding. These locations allowed monks to interact closely with merchants and travelers. Thus, commerce strengthened Buddhism while Buddhism supported commercial activity. Now, commercial activity, in order to happen, you need peace at a certain place, guys, right? If there will be wars, no commercial activity will be taking place, and that you are seeing in the present day economy as well. Whenever war happens, global economy comes down, right? So it is now both are dependent over here. Merchant patronage become the economic backbone. The Buddhist emphasis on ahimsa, ethical value, charity, moral conduct were greatly appealed to the merchants or caravan leaders. You try to understand. So most of the early architecture, the patronage was given by these merchants, right? They will be making inscription at Karle, Nasik, Kanheri, Bharhut, right? And they were being built by donation made by merchant, bankers, caravan leaders, and guilds. You will be finding the land they will be getting out of, like the land which they will be getting will be from these particular people as well. D.D. Goswami viewed Buddhism as the religion of expanding mercantile economy over here. Then third, artisan guilds supported Buddhist institution as well. Guilds emerged as powerful economic organization. They financed cave excavation, monastic buildings, sculptures, and stupas. Let me tell you why it happens over here. What is the link? Kings, देखो, Brahmins is such a position you will be finding in early India, which by birth are getting the social prestige, recognition, and pride and arrogance as well. You can add over here. Brahmins. Now Brahmins do not have to do something to accept your legitimacy. That they do not have to do something. They do not have to donate something. They do not have to pay you something so that you will respect them. It is inherent in this particular Vedic hierarchical structure that you have to respect a Brahmin. Rather, whenever you will be seeing a Brahmin, you have to donate something to him. You have to give something, some alms to him. Something to this Brahmin you have to give. They will not be giving you anything over here, right? It is a sin if you will be taking something from a Brahmin, right? You try to understand. So they already have this social prestige, hegemony as well at that point of time. Now this new class which is coming, which is rich, wealthy, earning huge over here, and are known as the merchants of the town. Because of the town flourishment, this new class was coming in. Now these merchants were not having the social acceptability, the same prestige which these people were getting based upon birth. So how these merchants, they are multifold, you will be finding how these merchants will be earning the social recognition, prestige by supporting the religious establishment, not only religious but art, architecture, and other things you will be finding. And Buddhism and Jainism appealed to these merchants much more, because they were talking about sense over here, about peace, about non-Vedic sacrifices you have to go through. Right, so these are the people who supported this particular part, who gave patronage to the Buddhas, to the Jainas, to other heterodox sects as well. For example, Bindusar is known for giving his patronage to the Ajivika sect. Right, Ajivikas were also promoted by the Mauryaans. Right, so you will be finding this. Though kings also supported them by a lot number of time, you will be finding, like at a lot of places, kings will also be supporting them. Okay. So what I was telling you about over here, that there is artisan guilds supported Buddhist institution as well. Now there are monasteries became economic institution as well. Beyond religion, monastery accumulated land grants, donation, endowments, and permanent funds. So they sometimes managed agriculture land as well, employed labor as well. Thus they became important economic centers. Then royal patronage strengthened political legitimacy. Royal patronage was coming when a person is getting ethically important. It is very important for the political organization to get the legitimacy of that ethical religious person. In today's time period, also you will be finding the in India, if there is some famous guru or Baba is becoming, then he will be now politician will be visiting him as well, right? And it will be a vice versa win-win situation for both the people over here. So Emperor Ashoka transformed Buddhism into an instrument of moral governance, built stupas, patronized monasteries, sponsored Third Buddhist Council. And you can say this Ashoka was the flag bearer of Buddhism, guys. Okay. If I want to say over here, now that is why you will be finding uh, the right people, if they will be understanding your philosophy, the right students, if they will be understanding as it is, right, what the guru wants to teach you, what the guru wants to convey, and if the right person is listening as it is, they will make it flourish, guys. And let me tell you, Buddhism earlier was confined to these particular areas. After Ashoka, you will be, or during the time of Ashoka, you will be shocked to know that Buddhism spread was like this, the whole Indian subcontinent. I am not leaving even Afghanistan to Myanmar over here or Thailand over here, you will be finding. To Sri Lanka over here also. Buddhist statues, Buddhist stupas were seen in Afghanistan, later on destroyed by the Islamic invasion, Islamic activities you will be finding, right? So this was the impact of the royal patronage. Royal patronage is at the different level. As I have told you, whatever I am saying might not be making any sense. But if Modi will be understanding my lectures and he will be saying, Prime Minister Modi will be saying that, okay, he is teaching phenomenally well over here, automatically people will come to me and they will blindly hear what I'm saying. So this is the impact of the influential personality. And at that point of time, the most influential personality was not the social media influencer, but royal king you will be finding over there, right? Royal ministers, king were important. So Emperor Ashoka transformed Buddhism into an instrument of moral governance over here. And post-modern ruler also gave them several donations. Okay. Buddhism facilitated political integration as well, because Buddhist Sangha functioned across political boundaries, common ethical values, literacy, communication. So different type of cultures were culminating like joining together because of this Buddhism, right? Buddhist art stimulated urban economy as well. Large religious monuments became centers of economic activity like Sanchi, Amravati, Karle, Ajanta. Okay, so one conclusion you will be finding: the modern and post-modern period witnessed a remarkable convergence of religion, economy, and polity. Buddhist monastery depended on merchants and over here for material support, while this group gained legitimacy, social prestige, and ideological cohesion with their association with Buddhism. So this is a reciprocal relationship which you will be finding over here. Symbiotic relationship also you can call. Understanding? So this is one thing with respect to now 2-3 times they have asked question on this interconnectedness of this thing, guys. Now socio-economic transformation, already I have told you that how Eastern India was changing socially and economically as well. Agrarian economy, role of cities and trades, emergence of new classes, rise of powerful state, already I have told you, right? So just read this particular slide out, and it will be helping you out to understand the already discussed point which we were discussing in the socio-economic transformation. But this is one broad slide. Why? Because PYQ has been asked from this particular part as well, right? Now you see some of the broad concepts over here, guys. For example, Buddhism, about their views in the Varna hierarchy. Varna hierarchy. Alright, what are their views about Varna hierarchy? Though they did not believe in the Varna hierarchy, like there should be difference between the people, and also they completely rejected these sacrificial procedures under the Brahmins or Brahmanical religion you will be finding. They rejected all this. Okay? They rejected this Varna hierarchy as well. But though they condemn this kind of that Varna hierarchy, that you will be getting some special privileges or sacrifices, but they were not like completely they were not in favor of complete social revolution. They were not in complete favor of this social revolution. Means they will not be directly fighting and with the Brahmin class and they will be saying that abolition of this particular class. No, nothing like that will be happening. But they will be putting emphasis not on birth more, rather they will be putting emphasis on karma more. That means as per their karma, conduct more. And the conduct should be ethical. That they were focusing on. Right. That's why you will be finding many Brahmans. Some of the Brahmans over here joined the Sangha as well and became Arhat as well, converted to Buddhism or joined Buddhism as well, you can say. So early Buddhism is often described as challenge to Brahmanical orthodox, but the relationship is more nuanced. They rejected ritualism and hereditary privilege, but it advocated a complete social revolution. It emphasized ethical conduct over birth and create more inclusive spiritual community. Why did Brahmins accept Buddhism? One of the striking features of early Buddhism is participation of Brahmins both as monk and followers as well. And I'll be telling you some of the names which you have to remember as well. This appears paradoxical because Buddha criticized Vedic sacrifices, ritualism, and Brahmanical claims of social superiority. But they accepted it. Why? Because internal intellectual debate, because all Brahmins were not related to Vedic sacrifices. Some Brahmanical tradition you will be finding, they were more inclined towards the philosophy, right? They were more they were automatically under Upanishads, they were questioning ritualism, emphasizing knowledge over sacrifice, and encourage physical inquiry, which Buddha was doing. So many Brahmins found Buddhist teachings intellectually attractive. Diversity among Brahmins. Not all Brahmins earned their livelihood through sacrifices. Many were scholars, teachers, philosophers as well. An ethical appeal. Buddha emphasized on morality, meditation, personal effort, and this was liked by some Brahmins over here. So there was opposition from Orthodox Brahmins as well. And Aganna Sutta records how two Brahmin, Vasatha and Bharadwaj, were criticized after becoming Buddhist monks. So these two example you try to know, guys, over here, that they basically got converted into Buddhist monks. Okay, so with respect to Varna, this is their views. Now with respect to caste, what is the Buddhist attitude? The Sangha consciously ignored many caste-based restrictions. For example, monk accepted alms from all social group irrespective of caste. Buddha himself accepted hospitality from all type of classes over here. According to tradition, his final meal was offered by Kunda, a blacksmith. His first meal was offered by, after enlightenment, you will be finding, by Sujata. Right, and he Kunda is a blacksmith over here. So this illustrates the rejection of ritual notions of purity and pollution. But can we say that Buddhists were completely egalitarian in nature? Not entirely. But what is the reason for that? Because although they rejected the idea of birth-based spiritual determination, but it will still recognizes difference in social and occupational status. The Vinaya Pitaka distinguished between high and low occupation. Money changing, accounting, writing, agriculture, high occupation. Lower occupation, leather working, and all this you will be finding. So Buddhas reflected many existing social attitudes even while questioning hereditary hierarchy. Right? This karma and social status I have already told you. Buddhism explained birth into different families through karma. A person birth in a high family, low family was seen as a result of previous section. Unlike Brahmanism, every individual irrespective of birth possesses the capacity to attain nirvana. Next come the woman position in women. What were the Buddhist views with respect to women? ये हमें समझना है यहाँ पर, right? Now, was Sangh open to women? This is a simple answer. Yes, it was later on opened up. So we can think that they were believing in the gender equality. But the answer is more nuanced, guys. It is not very straightforward, right? Again. So the position of women in early Buddhism represents a complex and often contradictory picture. On one hand, Buddhism was revolutionary and recognized that women can attain nirvana by establishing Bhikkhuni Sangha. On the other hand, Buddhist texts reflect contemporary patriarchal attitudes and impose a greater restriction on women than on men. How you will be finding what are the positive contribution of Buddhism to women's status? पहले ये देखेंगे. Spiritual equality. Women are capable of attaining nirvana. It is not based upon birth, gender, and social status. This is one positive thing. Establishment of Bhikkhuni Sangha. The Buddha established order of nuns over here. So this provided a woman with religious identity, institutional support, opportunities for education, and independent spiritual life. Good point over here. But Buddha was initially hesitated, and it is highlighted that the request was repetitively made by Mahaprajapati Gautami and supported by the disciple Anand. Only then Buddha opened the doors for women. Right? So Mahaprajapati Gautami and his wife were then entered into the Sangha. Prediction regarding the Sangh, the Vinay records that Buddha was predicting that Sangh will survive. Without woman, the Dhamma will surviving for 1,000 years. With a woman, it will be surviving for 500 years only. But it is considered that this type of interpolation might have got later added on. These are not the Buddha view. And we can think as well that Buddha will not be speaking such things. When Buddha has avoided himself from talking about the metaphysical things like that of God, soul, he has avoided these discussions. So, from the Buddha point of view, in his lifetime, he might not have like added these statements. These were the later interpolation reflecting the patriarchal attitudes of the later Buddhist communities, right? What are the conditions for joining the Sangh? The admission was generally denied to pregnant women, mothers of unweaned children, women without parental or husband permission, and women considered socially disruptive as well. So monks को 227 रूल फॉलो करने पड़ते थे, nuns को 311 विनय rules, right? And there is a term 8 garudhamas, special rules. Buddha is traditionally said to have introduced 8 garudhamas, heavy rules. These subordinated the bhikkhuni sangh to the bhikkhu sangh. दो संघ है, bhikkhu sangh will always be above bhikkhuni sangh. Now you read this line. Even the senior most nun, 60 plus age, had to show respect to the youngest monk if he is 18 plus. So ordination required the approval of both monks and nuns. Certain disciplinary matters were decided in mixed assemblies, right? Again, there is this claim that these might be later addition, not during Buddha's lifetime. These rules have come. अभी 8 गारु धर्मास क्या चीज है? Respect for monks, monsoon retreat, nuns could not spend the Vasava where no monks were present. Fortnightly consultation, end of monsoon confession, right? And discipline you will be finding. Ordination procedure, no criticism of monks, one-way admonition. Means monks could admonish nuns, but nuns could not admonish monks. So एक बार ये read कर लो, nobody will ask you this. But this particular terminology is important from prelims point of view. So कुछ later Buddhist nuns which became famous were Khema and Dhammadina. These are 2 Buddhist monks which you will be remembering as well, guys. Just read them about it. You can put them in answers, right? So this was about Buddhism overall, guys. Next topics like which are left over here. We have understood till the teachings and I have told you other aspect from the optional perspective. Now Buddhism and Jainism, Buddhist councils, schools, scholars literature, art and culture will be dealt in the prelims bootcamp separate class. Over there, I will be dealing it in a separate class very elaboratively, right? And I will be compiling all information at once. Schools you will be knowing about in the optional as well when I will be reaching up to the Kanishk or reaching up to the Palas. Art and culture angle will be covered from the architecture perspective. Art and culture class will be, I will be sharing you one particular lecture with respect to art and culture as well. Okay, so that will be covered from there as well. So Buddhist, from the optional point of view, you are good to go. But from the prelims perspective, still a lot of things are needed over here. Okay. Buddhism, Jainism, there have been few questions which I have shown you and repetitively they are asking on the same pattern, right? Now we will be moving ahead with the Jainism. Now let us see the Jaina, guys, Jainism, right? Now Jainism you will be finding is basically coming from the root word Jina. Jina means one who has conquered all senses. His senses you will be finding one who has conquered is Jina. Now Jainism is a way much old tradition than Buddhism, guys, right? Jainism, because this tradition used to be flourishing before Buddhism, you will be finding like for 200-300 years before as well, right? Now, how do we know about it? Because we know about that those people, that those who have conquered the senses, but also chose to teach the world, to teach the people that how could they follow this path as well and how they can achieve this position where they will be conquering all the senses. Jitendriya, right? Har indriyo ko jeetne wala Jitendra, right? So like this you will be finding that these people who chose the path of teaching these practices, Tirthankar, they used to be known as Tirthankar. Alright, so we will be finding from the literature of Jainism that the most important Jaina was over here. You will be finding the most important Tirthankar in Jainism was Mahavir, which flourished during the time period of Buddhism, means 6th century BC. Right, and because of this one great preacher over here, Jainism flourished afterwards as well, you will be finding, right? So there will be a long list of the Tirthankars as well over here. Now let me show you over here, guys, that then we will be seeing the personal life of Mahavir as well, right? Okay, so you see this early Jainism, Tirthankars and all. Jainism is one of the oldest religious tradition of India, obviously. It developed alongside Buddhism during the 6th century BC. It became famous. Jaina tradition itself claims greater antiquity through a long succession of enlightened teachers like Tirthankar, which already were preaching this Jainism way of life, right? Jainism emerged from the Shraman tradition. Shraman means renunciatory movement, rejecting Vedic ritualism, priestly authority, and animal sacrifice. ठीक है. What are the differences between Jainism and Buddhism? ये हम आखिरी में देखेंगे, because once you have to understand the philosophies of Jainism as well. Jina means victor who has conquered desire, attachment, karma, ignorance. Such a person attains infinite knowledge, means that is said to be that he has attained Kaivalya Gyan, perfect perception, and he is said to be liberated from this cycle of birth and rebirth. Tirthankar literally means ford builder. Ford means अगर आपको ocean पार करना है, then you will be creating the bridge type of structure, right? So the Tirthankar builds a spiritual ford, Tirath, across the ocean of worldly suffering, sansar, enabling others to attain liberation. Thus, every Tirthankar is a Jina, but his importance lies in establishing the path of liberation for the society. That means he is in the teaching business, you will be finding. He will be teaching now how you can attain this as well. This is not needed. Jana concept of time is not needed over here, but it is also there. Now we have 24 Tirthankar. The most important Tirthankars are written over here. Let me show you the complete list of Tirthankars, guys. This is the complete list of 24 Tirthankar with their symbol. First Tirthankar, very famous, is Rishabh Dev, Rishabh. Right. 23rd is Parsva. And 24th is Mahavira. Remember the signs as well for your prelims and other examination. Right. Then one more Tirthankar is highlighted through the debates is Malli. I will be telling you what is the debate around it. Malli. Okay, Malli you will be finding. Right. So over here I have told you the first Tirthankar Rishabh Dev. I have written over here, founder of the civilization, introduced agriculture, introduced craft. So this is a legendary type of person in Jainism. 22nd is Neminath, possibly associated with Gujarat over here. 23rd is Parswanath. Probably a historical figure, and this we know that he might have lived over in Banaras area. 24th is Vardhaman Mahavir, the last and historically best attested Tirthankar, which we have a lot of information about, right? What are the characteristics of Tirthankar? A Tirthankar is not regarded as a creator god, rather he is a perfect human being, omniscient, liberated from karma. And according to Jaina tradition, a Tirthankar possesses adamantive body, means hard like diamond, brilliant and perfect. If this is, you can say adjectives to the Tirthankar. Avadhi Jinan, right? Gyan, right? A superhuman's cognition enabling perception of distant objects, knowledge beyond ordinary senses, and foreknowledge of future events as well. It said to be possessing in the Tirthankars, right? So try to understand about the Vardhaman Mahavir, where he was situated. First of all, he was born in this Vajji Mahajanpad, you will be finding. I told you Vajji Mahajanpad was a Gana Sangh, right? And in that Gana Sangh, a lot of Ganas were there. And one of the Gana was Janatrika clan, right? So he was also not an ordinary being. At that point of time, he was the son of Janatrika clan chief, that is Siddhartha. And his mother was Trishala, who was a Lichavi princess. I told you that there were several clans, Lichavi, and Lichavi prince was, you will be finding Chetak over here, right? I told you this. And Chetak daughter was Lichavi, and Lichavi got married to the Siddhartha Janatrika clan. And Vardhaman Mahavir was born near around this particular date, but dates are disputed. You can take any date over here. Later on, he got married to Yashoda, and the daughter born out of their marriage is Priyadarshana. Now, this marriage part is also debated by the different sects under Jainism, that is Digambar and Shwetambar. We will be talking about it a bit later. Pehle personal life ko dekho aap. Vardhaman Mahavir, born in Kundalgram near Vaishali. ये दोनों जगह याद होनी चाहिए आपको. Born into a Kshatriya Janatrika clan. The father was Siddhartha and the mother was Trishala. He was born into luxury, was well educated and trained in administration and warfare. Then he decided again at the age of 30, he decided that he will be renunciating all this worldly life because he is not able to find the truth. He might be seeing that all relationships are based out of interest, right? So he might not be able to get the real truth, that our emotions is also interest based. They are not truthful to us. Our emotions, which we see that these are the ultimate truth. No, our emotions is also interest based. Maybe he might have found out that, right? So at the age of 30, you will be finding he will be renunciating the world and then try to seek for almost around 12 years. He will travel upon the path of seeking the truth, and ultimately by following rigorous practices, you will be finding he will be getting the Kaivalya Gyan. He will be getting the Gyan over here. Right, in between that he will be understanding what detachment is, how you will be attaining it, non-possession, non-violence. He will be giving several ideas which we will be seeing in the learnings and doctrines of Jainism. So he will be undertaking severe penance and meditation for 12 years to purify his soul and destroy karmic bonds. So what he will be going through: tapas, austerities, ahimsa, forgiveness, self-restraint, silence, nudity. You try to understand, whenever you travel upon the spiritual path, first thing which you have to do is forgiveness. You have to forgive yourself as well and other people as well. And generally we are bounded by we are bounded by the thoughts of our near and dear ones. You will be finding they will never be the stranger, guys, which you might be thinking about, which you might be thinking about of taking revenge, or which you might be thinking that they have wronged to you, right? So you have to free it from this particular perspective first of all, and this is literally a liberating experience, right? And this you can also do while moving ahead in your life as well, guys. You have to free yourself from the guilt and that someone has done wrong to you as well. Don't keep any you will be finding any revenge taking thing in your mind, right? So you always have to have forgiveness. You always have to have that you will forgive yourself as well and will have no guilt over here. So self restraint, mon, nudity, tapas over here. Nudity basically specifies that you are attached to nothing, neither you care about what other things of you at that point of time. Nudity, right? So this is extreme, guys. Jainism is quite extreme than Buddhism, right? Even if someone wants to follow Jainism at that point of time, and if he's saying that you have to go out of clothes, this become difficult, right? So this is just one practice. Then all the practices in Jainism you will be finding were quite demanding, right? You have to do a lot of painful things over here as well. Okay, but these all people over there at that point of time, the Shranamic tradition were performing these activities. You will be finding the scholar Charvak, right? Charvak, and Charvak, if you will be seeing, I told you Ajita Kesa Kamali. And why he was known as Kesa Kambali? Kambal, Kes Kambal means balon ka. He used to like from the hair, he used to create this particular cloth type of thing for himself, right? And he used to wear that. Why he used to wear that? Though he is giving the philosophy of nothing is fixed, no, nothing is karma over here, everything is determined, everything is destiny over here. But still he was going through this penance because he used to wear it. Isme kya hota tha? You will be finding in the winters this will feel more cold, in the summers it will feel more hot, right? So they were somewhere you will be finding giving themselves extreme pain, right? Extreme pain, because they might not be considering physical body as the like physical body from which you are connected with this sensual world, right? Maybe they are trying to destroy this connection over here. Okay, the same was practiced by Buddha as well, and Buddha find no peace, no enlightenment in this as well, right? ठीक है, so just understand this. No need to write. ये सब आपको लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. No need to write over here, guys, right? Then he, at the age of 42, he will be getting enlightenment, right? Where? At this place, Jrimbika Gram, near Rejupalika River, modern day Bihar, you will be finding. 12 years of intense austerity, Mahavir attained Kaivalya. Kaivalya is one who has complete absolute knowledge of all substances, their modes and transformation. Nature of Kaivalya Gyan: infinite knowledge, infinite perception, infinite bliss, infinite power over here, right? This you can note that what is Kaivalya over here and how he has attained Kaivalya, right? So same thing I have mentioned over here. Mahavir historical background you will be finding, right? So you will be seeing mother, father, Kshatriya bias in Jainism tradition as well, you will be seeing over here. Okay. Early life, Mahavir is portrayed as extra. Kshatriya bias, I hope you have understood. Kshatriya bias is like Jaina literature places greater emphasis on Kshatriya rather than Brahman, you will be finding, right? So these Gana Sanghs were giving more importance to Kshatriyas, not to Brahmanas over here, right? So this you will be seeing. Early life, Mahavir is portrayed as extraordinary compassionate, and this you will be finding that when he was in mother womb, he did not move over here, feared that he had, like he remained motionless in the womb to avoid hurting his mother. He moved only when she feared he had died. This symbolizes innate ahimsa, compassion, and self-control. Now, don't go into this particular, like it is futile to go into this particular thing that whether it is right or wrong, because this might have written later on by the followers, and followers might be like they might to show their guru, their teacher, birth as like they want to show these qualities that these were innate in Mahavir since he was in the womb of his mother, right? Like this they wanted to portray, maybe, right? Then marriage debate is Shwetambar tradition says that he was married to Yashoda. Digambar says that he was never married, right? He was celibate throughout life. But I will be telling you Shwetambar, Digambar, how it come again later on. At the age of 30, he will be leaving home. Okay? But there is again two different traditions. Parents had already died, therefore he renounced afterwards. Parents were alive, Digambar is saying, and he sought their permission before renouncing. Okay? 12 years after, he was meditating, severe fasting, complete detachment, endurance of hardship, silence, non-possession, and then he was able to got the Kaivalya over here, right? And then what he will be getting? Kaivalya Gyan, right? Infinite knowledge, perfect perception, omniscience, and freedom from karmic bondage over here, right? Then he basically teaching mission. He was on this teaching mission afterwards. So after enlightenment, Mahavir remained seated in meditation. Digambar is saying, he was beyond hunger, thirst, sleep, disease, and fear. He emitted Divya Vadani, divine sound. His disciple interpreted and spread his teachings. The chief disciples were called Ganadharas. The first was Indrabhuti Gautama, and later 11 Ganadharas came over here, and these were all Brahmins which got converted, right? And I gave you the reasons why Brahmins were interested in the Shramanic tradition. Okay, I already gave you the reason. Okay, now you see the death part over here. He died near Pawa, again same Kushinara, at the age of 72 years. Not important, but lagbhag aap time dhyan mein rakho. His death marks beginning of the Veera Nirvana era over here. Okay. So this was the overall early life of Jaina which you have understood, right? Now we are going ahead and we will understand the teachings of Jainism. Okay, now see the doctrines, and over here we have to see a lot of doctrines you will be finding. One is the Vadas tradition you will be finding, like the Syadvad, like the Nyayavad. Not is Nyaya is different, Nayavad, Naya, right? Different perspective. And then this Anekant Vad, Anekant, Naya, and Sat Vad over here, right? This you are going to see. And then other teachings as well you will be understanding, like Anekant, Syad, Triratana, Panch Mahavrat. All these things we are going to understand under the doctrines and teachings of Mahavir. So first of all, you will be finding these three jewels of Jainism. Let me tell you that there is the three Ratana concept of Buddhism as well, and you will be finding it in the form of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Okay, but this is different. Jaina is different. Jaina you will be remembering by KFC: right conduct, right faith, and right knowledge, right faith, and right conduct. KFC. So Samyak Darshan, right faith, right knowledge, Gyan, right charitra, right conduct. Okay, like this you can remember it, that these were the three Ratnas of Jaina. Was Buddhism talking about the same? Yes, they were also talking about it in their Ashtangik Marg, right? Then comes the different concept over here, that is Syadvad. Syadvad is, now these are all similar sounding names you will be finding, like similar sounding definitions, but you have to keep their headings differently, guys. For example, Syadvad is doctrine of conditional predication. Okay, conditional predication over here. It is a central tenet of Jaina philosophy. It emphasizes the relativity and multifaceted nature of truth. Basically, what they want to say that whatever you know is partial. You can never say that you know complete information at any point of time. Never, you can never say that you have complete information. If you are saying that you have complete information, you are wrong, right? That is the wrong statement. Yes, but you only know the partial reality of the truth. Right, partial reality you are knowing about, and this Oldest example is written in the Jaina books, guys. This example you must have heard about. This is given in the oldest book, right, of Jainism literature only. That there is an elephant and few blind men will be touching something. So if a blind man is touching the trunk, they will be saying that it is a snake. If they are touching this particular over here, this trunk over here, like they will be saying that this is arrows. Then you will be finding the body, this is a wall. Then if they will be touching this tail, might be a rope, right? Ears might be a fan, like this structure you will be seeing, right? So this is from different perspective. It emphasizes relativity and multifaceted nature of truth, asserting that every statement is true in a particular context, condition, or perspective. The word Syat means in some respect from a certain perspective. Syadvad underscores the principles of Anekantavad. So main principle is Anekantavad only. Anekantavad is a core philosophical doctrine. Means Anek means many, Anata means sides, and Vad means doctrine. The doctrine of many-sided reality. These words you have to like remember, right? So that when you will be writing, you should know doctrine of conditional predication, doctrine of many-sided reality, and Nayavad is theory of perspectives. Okay, or the doctrine of standpoints, you can say. When you will read it, you will find again they are talking about the same thing, that no single perspective provides complete understanding. You need different perspectives, right? That is called as Naya. It's not Nyaya. Sometimes we say Nyaya, not Naya, guys. Naya means standpoints, right? Okay, so over here I have provided a table as well. You can see this table. Okay, so this is one thing over here which they talk about their this we can call their doctrines. Next thing let me tell you about is, just wait. All right, so over here you come. Three Ratnas I have told you, right? Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gan, Samyak Charitra. You can read it over here again. Okay. Five great vows they talk about. Panch Mahaparat. Likewise, in Buddha, I have told you five percepts for the these people, lay followers, and 10 percepts for the monks and the nuns. So Panch Mahabharat were fundamental ethical vows observed Jain monks and nuns over here while they were living in like wherever they were living. For householders, they are observed in milder form over here. That is known as Anuvrats, lesser vows. Okay. So what are these? Again, same thing. Ahimsa, Satya, Asatya, Brahmacharya, and Aparigraha, non-possession over here. Okay. So this you have to remember as well, but it is easy to remember over here, guys. Now, in 2026 prelims, they have asked question from this category over here, guys. Okay. 2026 prelims ka question tha. Now, Jaina classification of living beings. How Jaina has classified living beings. Jaina ने classify कर रखा हर एक living being को, right? So over here you will be finding Jainism developed one of the earliest systematic classification of life based on sense faculties, indriyas. अगर मैं पूछूं science based right now, if I ask you that how we classify living beings, like what is the modern scientific explanation of classifying living beings? So if you are able to come up with the answer, that's good. But the answer is, you will be finding it is the Whittaker's classification. Whittaker's classification, right? And this you must have understood in your 9th class science NCERT. It talks about that whole living beings over here are classified into 5 things. Take a 5 kingdoms basically. The first kingdom, they will be telling you Monera, Protesta. Then you will be finding this is the Plantae, Animalia, and one I am missing, that is fungi, right? This is the 5 kingdoms classification of all living beings. You will not see virus in this particular category because virus is considered to be non-living, right? That's why Whittaker's classification takes account of these particular things. And every living being you can put inside this 5 classification. But we are talking about 800, 900 BC. So there was a religious explanation of everything, right? 1000 years later, the classification which we have done might not be existing. Some new classification will be coming, right? So 4 broad categories of existence as per Jainism is Deva. Like they believed in God, celestial beings, but they always put God below the Jina, right? They always kept Jina higher, right? Then there is Manushya, human beings. Then there is Naraki, hell beings as well. Then Tiryancha, animals and plants as well over here they have considered over here, guys. Triyancha, right? Ab how in the prelims they have asked, they will be giving you 4 options and they were saying that which one is not the category of existence as per Jainism, and they have given you like Yaksha, something like Yaksha and Yakshani, So that was the answer, that it is not the category of Jainism, right? So over here, this is one thing you will be finding. The supreme virtue of Jainism is that ahimsa, right? Ahimsa paramo dharma. Non-violence is the highest religion over here. Okay, so why ahimsa is central? Harm to the victim as well. Every living being experience pain. So this is the very earliest explanation, that every living being, and they will be going far in their explanation that even the non-living beings are feeling pain. Okay, let me tell you that in the scientific explanation, who has given in the recent times that plants can also feel pain, and experiment based. These people are saying, you might be thinking that experiments and observation are not there. That is right. But right now, modern times, if you will be seeing that one personality has given scientific proof that plants can also feel pain. And this was an Indian, guys. I'm forgetting the name right now. I guess it is JC Chandra. Okay, just check it out on internet. You will be finding in 1900 something around. He was testing all these things, right? JC Chandra, right? Just check it once, right? Or JC Chandra नहीं है, JC जोगेश चंद्र बोस है, right? Something like that. ठीक है, एक बार check करना. ठीक है, तो they are saying the same things 1000 years before, right? So Jhana disciplines aims at purification of the soul, you will be finding. Now, one thing, that were they believing in soul concept? Yes, they believed in the soul concept. Not only the living beings, but they were saying that the inanimate objects, non-living things also have soul over here, guys. Okay, so this was very radical idea at that point of time. Triyancha are further classified according to the number of senses they possess. Like one sensed earth, water, fire, air, plants, one sense. Worms, shell creatures, 2 senses. 3 senses, ants and loci. 4 senses, bees and flies. 5 senses, birds, animals and humans as well. So the greater the number of senses, the greater the capacity of experiencing suffering. Right? So this much broad they have understood the suffering category of beings. Guys, you try to understand, you try to think, right? Modern world is not understanding the suffering capacity of the human being. They are understanding that from particular being, how much utility you can take out. Right, modern understanding, if you will be finding, and this is the religious, or you can say the inner understanding of the beings. Right, so this is one thing in the Jaina, and you will be finding this. Okay, now you see over here certain terminology as well. I will be telling you. Nigodas, the lowest form of life. Nigodas occupies the lowest level in hierarchy of living beings. Microscopic organism, possesses only the sense of touch, exist in huge clusters, right? Like soil, water, plants. According to Jana belief, they inhabit soil. They inhabit in soil, water, plants, animals, and human bodies. They might be talking about the microorganisms over here. This belief explains the extraordinary care exercised by Jaina ascetics in avoiding harm to even the tiniest form of life, guys. This was their understanding, awakening was with respect to this much they were aware about their surroundings, right? Right now we don't even care about the animals which are outside us. We are not even thinking about them. Okay. One sense living beings, these organisms possesses only touch as their sense faculties, like earth bodied, water bodied, fire bodied, air bodied, plant life. Okay. They are talking about the microorganisms over here. Okay. So they were avoiding killing, hurting. Yeah, पढ़ सकते हो again. This particular thing is, you will be finding easy to understand in ahimsa. Since every living organism has a soul, so they were saying that they believed in karma. Yes, they believed in karma. Actions, thoughts, motives, intentions all generate karma. Hence, both physical violence and mental hostility are condemned. Mental hostility in your head also, if you are thinking negatively, that will count as karma as well. Right, vegetarianism in Jainism, strict vegetarianism is a direct consequence of the doctrine of ahimsa. Meat, fish, eggs, all were prohibited. Unlike some tradition, Jainism prohibits eating even animals that die naturally. What happened? Buddhism was, it is debated that Buddhism was not completely, you will be finding non-vegetarian, right? Buddhism was not believing in that the intent, that if you have killed a particular animal to give it to a Buddhist monk, then it is prohibited. But if that animal is dying naturally and then you have cooked it, then they can take. Now this is debatable, right? This is debated and it is written in your standard book as well. So dead flesh is believed to become a breeding ground of nigodas. Nigodas क्या है? Microorganism इनकी भाषा में, in their language, right? So this you can read over here. The Shwetambar tradition permitted limited exceptions under extraordinary circumstances during famine or medicinal purposes. This demonstrates that practical consideration occasionally tempered strict ethical rules as well over here, right? Then I have already told you the Panch Mahavrat, Aparigraha, Brahmacharya, right? Then you will be finding Satya, Asatya over here, non-stealing. This you can read. Then Mahabharat is for ascetics, and Anuvrat, lesser vows, is for householders, right? This you will be understanding over here. Okay, so this is one thing over here. Now you try to understand all these things I have already explained you. Syadvad, just read it out. Jain critique, Anekantvad, Nyayavad, right? Over here you have understood this. Then you understand this particular part of that Jaina theory of karma. One of the most distinctive contribution of Jaina philosophy is, unlike Hinduism, Buddhism, Jaina considers karma as a material substance, right? It has a physical form. Karma as a matter. Karma consists of extremely subtle material particles. These particles float through universe, attach themselves to the soul. So karma is not merely moral causation, it is actual physical matter. So this is very different, guys, different form of karma now which you are understanding. Different from Buddhism, different from what Hinduism was talking about. How karma minds the soul? Passions such as anger, pride, attachment, greed, hatred, desire attract karmic particles. So these might be some very minute particles, and when you are getting all these passions, then these particles might be attracting your soul, and that is why we say that vibe, there is energy, right? And energy is never, you will not, energy is not made out of nothing, it has some particles, right? Maybe they might be right, who knows. The soul becomes covered by them just as dust covers a mirror over here, guys. So what a beautiful explanation you will be finding under Jaina's theory of karma, right? Then there is sevenfold logic also they give. Syadvad developed into famous sevenfold method, Saptabhangi Nyaya over here, of conditional predication, where the statement about reality can be expressed in seven logical valid ways. In some respect it exists, in some respect it does not exist, it exists and does not exist, it is indescribable, it is exist and is indescribable, right? Maybe they're talking about the dark matter. Dark matter, we know, dark energy, we know it is existing, but it is indescribable. How you will describe black hole or dark energy? Okay, dark black hole was not indescribable, but was not describable before, you will be finding 50 years, 10 years back, right? Even 5 years back, I would say, because black hole existence came in 2019 in the Hindu newspaper, you will be finding when the researcher published it, right? So it does not exist and is indescribable as well. So these are different perspectives they have highlighted over here. Okay. Okay, Jain classification of reality. Reality consists of jiva and ajiva, like living substances, and ajiva, non-living substances over here, right? Like this you will be finding. Okay. Okay, so they are talking about arupi ajiva, formless non-living substances as well, like space, dharam, adharam, time as well, they have considered over here, guys, right? Okay, so this was your overall concepts in Jainism which you will be finding. Okay, now Jainism also is containing their scholars and literature. Jainism is also containing their art and architecture. Jainism is also containing their Jainism Council and its schools as well. Okay, this I will be explaining you later on in my prelims bootcamp classes, because from their perspective, from that perspective, it is quite important. Okay, and quite elaborate as well. Over there, I will be covering it, guys. Okay, because it has already got a bit long, and at one place we will not be trying to complete everything right now, and I will be overflowing with you with the information right. Later on, I will be telling you. I'll just tell you the difference over here between the Shwetambar and the Dighambars. Try to understand. Though it is not required over here as well, because it happened after the death of Mahavir. The age of Mahajanpad mein nahi hota, right? So what happened in Magad when Chandragupta Maurya was there? That means 300 BC around you are going to find. After the death of obviously Mahavir, after 200 days you will be finding that there were Jain people who were living over here, and Jainism was quite flourishing, and Chandragupta Maurya initially was not under the influence of Jainism, right? So what happened over here, one of the monk of Jaina, that is known as Bhadrabahu, predicted foresensed that there is a great famine which is going to come in Magadh, great famine which is going to come over here, and it will like be for certain years over there. So who predicted this? Bhadrabahu predicted this. How he can predict it? Because he is a Jaina. He's a Tirthankar, not Tirthankar we can say, but a Jaina preacher over here, Jaina guru over here, right? So thinking that, seeing that, Chandragupta Maurya started doing certain started measures over here for the famine, and Bhadrabahu will be moving down to Shravan Bilogola with his followers for certain time period. But certain followers will stay over here only in Patliputra region, in Magadh region only, and they will be under the Sthulbahu over here. Sthulbahu and his followers will be there. Bhadrabahu and his followers will move down to Karnataka in the area of Shravan Belagola, right? And after some time, they will be returning back to their place over here. And when these people under Bhadrabahu will be returning, they will be seeing that this Sthulbahu and other group have become relaxed. Whereas Sthulbahu and other people will be accusing that you have become relaxed, you might have compromised the jhana practices. So there will be differences which will be coming out in Sthulbahu and Bhadrabahu group. That's why Bhadrabahu became the leader of the Digambar sect and Sthulbahu became the leader of Shwetambar sect. How you will be remembering their leader's name? S Shwetambar, D and obviously not matching, so Bhadrabahu. Alright. So this is one of the basic difference which are written in your R.S. Sharma and other books as well. Now you will understand that there are much more differences over here with their perspectives, right? Let me show you. तो यहाँ पर आप देखोगे that Digambar are sky clad, they wear nothing. Shwetambar are white clad, and that's why they say you have compromise. They do not wear any clothes. These were simple white clothing they wear. The most important thing over here, they say that salvation, woman must be reborn as men to attain liberation. Digambar is saying that means woman cannot attain salvation over here. Whereas Shwetambar believe that women can attain liberation directly. So that's why the 19th Tirthankar will be considered as a male, Malli, Nath by the Digambar, and it is believed to be a female because female can achieve salvation as a Malli in the Shwetambar tradition. This is more than enough over here. Okay? So over here this one difference. And the third difference you will be finding, Digambar said that Mahavir never married, right? Because he practiced celibacy. Shwetambar said that he was married over here and had a daughter as well, that is Priyadarshan. So these are the type of differences you are going to see. Okay, so like this you will be finding Jaina councils I will be telling you, then I will be telling you more like Shwetambar, Sthanakvasi, Mandir Margi. ये अभी required नहीं है, ये prelims type of information है, will be remembering over there only, right? Then I will be telling you later on Shwetambar literature, although I can tell you right now as well, but it will not fulfill our purpose right now. Okay? Later on in the separate class, I will be telling you about this whole of Jainism from the prelims perspective as well, right? From optional, Jainism and Buddhism is not very huge like in prelims. Okay? Okay, alright guys, so in this particular lecture, we have tried to see Buddhism and Jainism from the perspective of their teachings, their life, their personal life, their doctrines, we have tried to see in this particular lecture. Okay, this lecture was having a lot of information. Try to keep it short and try to see the PYQs. Try to attempt the PYQs as well, which I have added over here. Okay, but dekho how they are asking the questions. Then we will try to solve some of the question in the weekend live class. Second thing, now we will be moving forward into the Mauryans in the next class, guys. Okay, thank you so much. We'll be meeting in the next class, guys.